It is said that wars are only won upon the anvil of honor.
Others believe victory requires strategy and a mastery of power.
War is deception. A game played best from the shadows.
Only strength and raw power can assure total dominance.
But of course, you could forget all that. And
It is said that wars are only won upon the anvil of honor.
Others believe victory requires strategy and a mastery of power.
War is deception. A game played best from the shadows.
Only strength and raw power can assure total dominance.
But of course, you could forget all that. And just have fun! Hearthstone! Heroes of Warcraft!
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the chill room located at Information Systems here in Johannesburg. We're going to be bringing you a little game that's going to be happening that we have here at the Swiss tournament, which is currently underway. The game that we're going to be having with us now is Rogue and Nogue and Epsilon. And at the moment, I've got a little co-caster here with me, Evolve Koala. Welcome, thanks for joining me here for this.
Hello, everybody.
All right. So there we go, you can see Nogue will be at the top of the screen while Epsilon will be at the bottom. We're just waiting for these players to go in and we'll be able to jump straight onto them. To let everybody know the classes that they have brought, Nogue has got Druid, Warrior and Rogue. Obviously the Shaman has been banned. And then we've got Epsilon who's got Druid, Warlock and Warrior with his Warrior being banned.
Hunter.
Hunter.
Yes,
Yeah, Hunter, Warrior being banned. What is your take on this matchup here, Evolve Koala?
It's quite interesting to see both players playing Druid at the moment. So it's quite a big change from the previous Conquest we had, where I think out of mostly everybody, only about 3 or 4 Druids were being played, mostly by Skanksy, and you saw a few Druids. So now everyone's taking a take on sort of a token Druid or a Yogg Druid, and that's matches I'm most excited to see.
Watch
But
your back.
get to see here
Your soul shall be mine.
seems to be a Zulak.
Yeah, well, considering the starting hand here, Epsilon is definitely playing some sort of Zulak. We've got Nogue who's playing what looks to be already like a Rogue. Alright, so Epsilon going first, he doesn't really have that one drop. Mulliganing one drop is incredibly crucial for you, so you can start building tempo, especially against the Rogue, because the Rogue is already so strong against Zoo, with all its clear, with the backstabs, your SR7 that you can do with combos, that you can clear pretty much the entire board. So obviously, starting with the point as well is also very crucial in
Definitely. I was quite interested to see him keep both the power bomb and Soulfire, as if he's really going to go for sort of a burst down on the Rogue, as to how you win this matchup. As soon as the Rogue gets that auctioneer out, it's close to game over, so he wants to get as much burst in his hand as possible.
Yeah, most definitely. So, alright, so Epsilon also sitting with his hand here as well. I mean, he's got double Soulfire and double Power Overwhelming. That's already 16 damage potential. Alright, so that's a lot of damage just for 4 mana. But obviously with the Soulfire, the discard, it could cause a couple of problems as well.
Oh yes, definitely.
So, using Backstab on the Dark Peddler is alright. By the look of things.
I think he notices that he's not going to have sort of a turn 3, so he might just well re-equip the weapon.
Yeah.
So he has no way to really clear besides sapping, and he wouldn't want to sap too early in this game.
Yeah. You don't really want to sap that as well. I mean, sapping a Doom God might be alright, because I mean you're going to ask your opponent to get rid of more cards, especially when you've got a the Blood Mage is actually really nice. Yeah, I think what he's just going for is that he's just looking for some sort of card draw, so that he can start digging into his deck, starting to look for the SR7, so he can start competing with this board. Come later on in the game, he's really going to struggle.
Is that a Dark Iron Scalker there at the top? The 5-mana cost card? Oh, that's Leroy, sorry.
Yeah, he's got Leroy, Preparation, Sap, the coin, another Sap as well as Conceal in his hand here. So interesting here what's going to be happening now with Epsilon's turn. He doesn't really have anything. trading away the Blood Mage is probably the best. Right when he's got a board.
Okay, yeah.
Speaking about Dark and Skulker, there he
There
does
we go,
actually
yeah.
run it in his deck.
He does run it, yeah, very good in this matchup. Dark and Skulker pretty much clears most of Zilok's board, especially like the gun bosses, but in the early game, get him out. Hard body to deal with as it clears most of the board.
Yeah. Doomguard, I like it. Get rid of your other Doomguard and Soulfire.
That's
But at least
perfect.
now you've still got 12 guaranteed damage in your hand for 8 mana. Or if you play with the Leroy as well, that's 6, 10, 18 damage already there as well.
This is
So he's
quite
got a lot of
aggressive, yeah.
damage.
Very aggressive Zilok here. We got double Doomguard, Leroy, double Soulfire, double Power Wowing, and the Sea Giants. That's
I mean, we do see the gadgets and drawn, but I mean, he doesn't really have any sort of activators. I would definitely rather consider waiting another turn, possibly just sapping the Doomguard, getting rid of more damage, going first, using the dagger mastery, picking up another dagger. He's going to be pretty well set from this point onwards.
definitely.
Alright, so Epsilon in his hand, Sea Giant costing, and let's be honest, Rogue doesn't always throw down a lot of minions. I mean, here we go, I'm probably just going to see the Voidwalker and potentially Doomguard thrown down again, but I mean, he's throwing down
Wow. And there's another sap coming up.
and there's power rolling in Leroy now. There's more burst that is actually gone now.
Wow. This is looking very good for the Rogue.
He does have a prep now, so potentially Gadgetzan has to come down. He already has to
Yes, here we go.
So
Here
here we go.
comes throwing out your whole deck. As
Coin?
Rogues do.
Coining out the conceal, I think, is really good here already because you're going to be protecting your Gadgetzan. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to be turning on the game sound just a little bit. And
Okay.
alright, so here we go. We're going to see the sap again now onto the Doomguard. Doomguard is now going to go back to the hand again. 2 more cards going away.
Wow.
Backstab, again, right now he's just drawing so many cards. And he's got a deadly poison. He's got 2. At this point, I feel that he's actually going to be really comfortable. Trading it away perfectly fine, using conceal, making sure that that Gadgetzan is protected. Next turn, he's got a lot of things that he can do. A lot of activation.
He has the Leroy in hand. He's running double deadly poisons.
Yeah, he's running double deadly points. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is the same list that he was running during the
Prelims.
7 Heroes yesterday.
Yeah.
So very interesting. Okay, so we've got life tap that he's now using life tap. Life tapping with Doomguard, sort of understand that plan because he wants to try and preserve that extra bit of damage that he does have, but he does lose the Argent Squire as well as the Sea Giant now as well. He's already putting on to 12 though, so essentially he, No does have to deal with this Doomguard without taking too much damage. It really didn't put him
Well,
through
if you think about it now, the Warlock doesn't have any more charges. Both Doomguards are gone. Leroy is gone. So if he can just keep the board clear, he can pretty much make sure that no burst damage comes to his face. He's seen the Soulfire get discarded.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure if he knows about the second Soulfire, but so far I think that the Rogue's in a good spot.
Yeah.
Even at 12 health, there's not too much more surprises coming his way.
You're going to see the Eviscerate going to deal. I actually would be very happy to see the Edwin come down because Edwin's going to be a huge body, not going to be able to deal with it. Trading your auction, you've already drawn a lot of your cards. You're perfectly fine with this at this point.
Edwin, you need to get some sort of now bursting him down. You had a 12 health. You need a body to keep on trading. You're out of preps.
I actually like the fact that he's using the 5 damage going face because already he's going to start threatening potential lethal, considering that he does run probably 2 Cold Bloods. He's also got another Eviscerate still there, so that is already another 12 damage. So that's 20 damage there as well.
Oh well, yeah. So, what do you think? What's the Warlock's best way to get that 12 damage down?
Right now, the Warlock needs to do it basically. He needs to be careful about tapping because he could start sacrificing a lot of his health, which could then go towards bringing him closer to lethal than what he already is. And he needs to save the Soulfire as well as the Power Overwhelming to deal 8 plus whatever he's got on the board. And his juggles are helping him put a little bit more pressure.
These juggles are very important. So far, we have 8 damage in hand. We need to get about 3 more damage on the face, 3 juggles.
What do you think of Dark Iron Skulker here? Because Dark Iron Skulker is going to clear the board. He can use then a Fan of Knives.
Oh yes.
Pretty much deal with the board as it is. Trade away the your Darkshire Councilman before anything else happens here.
Okay. Okay.
Alright guys, so what we have now is we're going to see, you throw down the Dark Iron Skulker, dealing the 2 damage, clearing the Divine Shield and everything as well. He's sitting in really, really comfortably at this point. At this stage, you need to know that Rogue is or Warlock is very, capable of actually dealing with everything. SI7 actually quite good here as well. He's able to clear the board and he's put more minions on the board.
Yeah.
He's got 15 damage on board. He's just 2. And as a rogue, it's really not difficult to do 2 at all.
Rogue doing very clever moves as well. It's like for me personally, I would have considered using Phantom Knives just to clear the Argent Squire, just 1-1. But then you got to think, how many Forbidden Rituals is this running? Phantom Knives is the only way you really have a way to deal with the Forbidden Ritual.
Yeah, you've already cleared. You've already used a Dark Iron Skulker, unless you have another way of actually getting him back. But again, Epsilon now thinking, is it worthwhile using a Soulfire to try and keep the damage down? But the thing is, though, you've still got Edwin, who's sitting on 8. I think using, so he's going to use the Soulfire, and he's going to use it on a Dark Iron Skulker.
There we go.
Already, by doing that, Rogue is in a very, very comfortable position. Because now, considering his hand, he's got Leroy Jenkins, Fan of Knives, Tomb Pillager. So,
oh yes. As we see the Warlock saying well played, as he sort of just realized he doesn't know himself how he's going to get 11 damage to his face.
Exactly.
With both powerful arms down, both Soulfires. He's just going to watch this Rogue draw his whole deck out and have a bit of fun before he concedes the game.
So there we go. You can see him go, just trade away, go face for 9. Put him on to 1. He's going to dagger up, take the win. So there we go. Nogu's going to move 1-0 up in this last hero standing format game. He's 1-0 up. He's going to have to take Miracle Rogue into his next game. And Epsilon goes down with his Warlock. So we're just going to have something in the background. So here we go, guys. So Nogue has moved up in this, and he's going to be sitting quite comfortably going into the next game. Miracle Rogue is actually a very good class to bring into last hero standing. What do you think his next matchups are going to be like, considering that he's playing against Warlock or now Druid or Hunter as Miracle Rogue?
Well, against this Miracle Rogue, I think he's best. His probably idea is when I go against Miracle Rogue, I normally try to see is the best way to do it is try to burst him down. But like with classes such as Hunter, they struggle a bit with Miracle Rogue. I'm not too sure what the matchup would be with the Druid, as I haven't really much experience in matchup. And obviously the Warrior's banned. So I'm not quite surprised to see the Hunter come down here. I would have personally tried the Druid, as you have more bodies to deal with. The Rogue kind of struggles, but the Hunter's a bit too slow.
Yeah, but we're going to see what's going to be happening here. I mean, no, he doesn't really have. I don't think he's running odds and squares in the list, so a bit slow. But
I think I saw one in the prelims yesterday.
But I mean, look at Epsilon's hand. He's got a fantastic curve going in. He's got turn 1 into Huge Toad, Animal Companion. If he can pick up like a weapon or whatever as well, he's going to be sitting really, really comfortably already. I mean, the Highman coming down, Rogue can deal with it by using Shadow Strike.
Shadow Strike, yeah.
Shadow Strike would clear it, as in Dark Iron Skulker. You get rid of that Beast's energy that is there.
That's also good, yes.
So you're going to see what happens. Alright, so Nogue is now sitting, doesn't really still have a play that he can do. I mean, he would need to use the Dagger Mastery and then a Deadly Poison to then clear, but then he's taking 4 damage from this Huge Toad.
I always seem to see an eviscerate here.
I actually don't mind this because right now, considering this matchup, Hunter is very good at just putting down pressure after pressure after pressure, and it becomes very difficult for the player to deal with it.
Very important here is to keep those deadly shots. Remember going in the prelims yesterday, going against the Hunter, he used both his deadly shots to clear Tomb Pillager and Azurdric, and then they have no way to deal with your stealth auctioneer. So you definitely want to keep deadly shots. What the Rogue will try to do is try and draw those deadly shots out as much as possible. He'll probably hand on to any auctioneer or any Leroy until that is sorted.
Oh, the Infested Wolf, winning the joust there, just barely against Edwin. So taking it, drawing it in. Now Epsilon has got a decision. He can either just push face shift for 6, which is what I really like. It looks like he's going to coin out the deadly shot, which could potentially put him back, but we could look back at this play, and this could be a game changer considering the fact that he was able to clear board and continue applying pressure. I mean, he's got 7 damage on board. He's going to put him down to 15, half health by turn 5. Not looking too great then for Nogue at the moment.
Oh yes, so he's got a very aggressive board at the moment. Rogues tend to get a bit haywire towards when there's too much minions on board. The Viscerates here clearing most of his board, but what I don't like about the last Hunter player, he said he's going to look back at this, is that deadly shots. If there is auctioneer in hand, which I don't think I see one.
There's no auctioneer there.
But it's not like the Hunter knew that.
Yeah. But I mean, already this board again, more things for him to deal with. And he doesn't have a Fan of Knives. Fan of Knives would have been perfect to actually deal with this board.
Yes.
Fortunately, he doesn't have it. He does now have an auctioneer, but he doesn't really have anything that he would want to use to activate it with.
I got the best deals anywhere.
He's probably just going to go for coin, digging hopefully to pick up a conceal maybe.
This is risky.
No, he doesn't. He does pick up another auctioneer. I think you might as well use your cold blood here.
Would be interesting to see. It's a big, should I say it's quite a big, because now you need the cold blood into something like prep, into conceal.
Prep into conceal or something, so again,
that would be too
a
crazy.
lot of RNG there. He's using that.
Ooh, that's
slight
unfortunate.
bit of a misplay there. He would have rather wanted to actually take that, considering, but possibly something you thought of a little later. Here, I don't even know why you even reconsider playing anything else. I think Savannah High Main on curve is always good. But I mean, you can go into Eagle Horn Bow. Your health pool is sitting very comfortable. You've got board control with the weapon. You can then just continue pushing some face damage in here. So
there's a few minor players here. Savannah Harmon, as you said, quite hard to deal with. Don't think we've seen the rogue use any saps, so maybe that's why he's holding off on it. Because you commit your whole turn, that's Savannah Harmon, whereas you can now play a knife juggler, which he has to deal with. Clearly he's auctioneer. And still have infested wolf without trading.
Doing this play though has optimized his damage. He was able to do 2 extra damage than what he previously would have been able to do. Sorry, my co-caster is just kindly dying here on me. So by doing that, he's obviously optimized the damage that he's been able to do, and the Azure Drake not really giving him anything that he can, use. There's 5 damage, hero power 7. It's 10 damage that he has. At this moment, you got to think to yourself, how do I actually continue dealing? Again, apologies for that. My co-caster seems to be dying on me.
Oh, having a bit of a upset chest here. The Drobig is not treating me well.
Different climate, that's for sure. I mean, now here, just watching the Hunter go face here. 2, there's no way Rogue is going to take this. I think that's
you don't have to he runs fast here, but that 3 health does not do much of a distance, because still in 3 turns you have to somehow find a way to get a control of the board and to heal yourself up. That's quite a lot to do. I don't want to count my kitchens before the hatch, but I'm pretty sure the Hunter's got this one.
Yeah, I think the Hunter's definitely got this one. There's nothing else that he can do. And there we do actually see the concede. So Nogue is going to go down losing with his Miracle Rogue. Very interesting list that he does run with the double deadly poisons in it. But unfortunately he does go down, losing, and Epsilon is going to tie the series 1-1 and continuing with his Hunter. And let's be honest, the Hunter is incredibly strong.
Oh, I've had many hair-pulling nights against people playing mid-range Hunter. For some reason, it's one of the classes I can't get right. It's not my most favorite class, Hunter. I think I have like 1 or 2 kills with it on the ladder, but there's no denying that in a format where your Rogue and Temper Warrior are very strong, it is definitely a class to bring to a tournament.
Oh, whoops, I actually gave Nogue the incorrect loss there. My apologies, people. Apparently I can't tell the difference between a warrior and a rogue. So he has now brought Druid into this matchup here, tied at 1-1 against the Hunter. Druid, looking at him, it seems like he's playing either Token Druid or Token Druid, without the Yogg Saron, or he's actually playing Yogg Druid.
Well,
You see Wisps. That already indicates that he's definitely playing some sort of token. Potentially with Fandral in there as well.
I wonder if he's running the Nexia version, because is it looking through some of the lists, and Nexia is quite a common one to see.
Yeah.
Or some people run both Nexia and Scenarios. Some people just run Scenarios.
I think right now he also realizes that Hunter can get a little bit out of hand. So coining out the Wrath, it does seem like he's wasted it a little bit as well. Unless he draws Wild Growth now. Unfortunately he doesn't though. But I mean, if he had the Wild Growth, he
Yeah.
would be sitting a lot more comfortably. I think he's just going to use Power of the Wild, putting some minion pressure here on board. He knows that he needs to actually have something to distract the Hunter from going a lot more face and everything.
Ooh.
Oh, the juggle continuing to go small on him here. So putting him down now to 24.
He's quite comfortable knowing that the Druid most probably will trade with the Knife Juggler. Just ignores the 3-2.
But I mean, it does have some utensils to actually now deal with this board. By using the hero power to clear the fiery bat, using then your living roots, deal the 2 damage to the knife juggler, you clear the board. You then have got a 3-1 on board. You haven't really been able to do too much, but I mean, it's still something.
Yeah.
Right now, Noak just needs to make sure that he needs to basically maintain board control and continue trading to get rid of the Hunter's board. Especially the Beasts, because kill commands can be a real threat to Druids. They can clear taunts, so they can continue to do damage, or it's just direct damage to the face, and 5 damage to the face is something that not a lot of people like taking, and that's for sure. Here we do, you just see the living roots, just using the
Remember the
damage.
good old smoke days where skill command was top decked. So glad we aren't seeing so much face hunters. I'm so glad Hunter took a direction towards more mid range.
Yeah.
Last year everyone was just complaining, oh face hunter, oh face hunter.
He says,
So this
but
is so
it's,
refreshing.
A lot of the hate goes towards Face Hunter, but during those times, it took a lot of thinking, a lot of skill to actually do that. So here we just have a chat about
A lot
the
of people would
Discover.
disagree.
A lot of people would disagree, but
force
agree
of
to,
nature.
let's agree to disagree. He's got Innovate for Nourish, and if I'm not mistaken, he's got 3 mana, so you can Innovate the Nourish.
I actually remember the early days of Token Druid, like after the Force of Nature was nerfed to just summon 3 2/2 Druids. I think it was either one of the pro players, I'm not too sure what, I think it was Kepler or Theist or one of the guys running Token Druid. Actually put that in. It's 3 bodies on the board, easy to buff the fan draw. So,
Yeah.
oh,
There's Skill
There
of
we
the
go.
Wild, or Call of the Wind, however you want to look at it. So you're going to see the Helmmaster go down, and, Epsilon is actually looking really, really strong here with the board that he's actually been able to develop. Oh, if he goes Wisps, the only problem here is that he will get severely punished by Call of the Wind.
oh wow. Please don't predict cards like that again.
Alright guys, sincerely apologize for using the caster's jinx
Don't.
on the top deck here.
I was like, stop talking, just stop talking, that's
Okay.
gonna happen.
I think it must be just a little bit silent, but they unleash the Hound top decks against the Wisps of the old guys coming down.
You definitely
Easy
want,
board clear.
you definitely want to clear any minions that Token Druid has.
I mean, there was 24 damage potentially with the Savage Roll. Double Savage Roll, that was actually lethal. So,
Oh yeah,
you didn't even notice that, but I did.
double savage roll. You did the quick calculation there.
Well, it would have been 7 times, it was 7 times 1 times 2 times 2. So that would have been 5 attack each. That's 35 plus your hero. That's 39 damage.
Never had a math lesson from a penguin.
Alright guys, so here we go. We're going to see the Wrath now clear the... Oh, he's actually Wrath for 1.
I think there's a bug there.
Yeah, unfortunately the Hearthstone bug that tends to happen. Hopefully it clears with
there
the
we
next
go.
card.
Great.
Thank you, Blizzard. So you're going to see
Sort
the
of
Wild
getting
Growth
this stuff right.
getting to 10 mana. I don't know if I kind of agree with that. I think maybe you would want to save it unless you actually draw Yogg or you're playing Yogg.
Yeah, oh,
Because
I would
at this
love to
stage-
see a Yogg win.
Because at this stage you really need a Yogg. And the perfect Yogg here right now would be a Hex onto the Savannah High main, as well as some sort of board clear, buffing and giving him taunt, and just sitting there comfortably. He's going to draw some cards here. He's going to draw 3. Although,
Another wisp of the old gods.
I wonder what he's going to be thinking about getting out of the Raven Idol. He really needs to find maybe a mulch or something.
I think that's what he's after. That 6 damage from Savannah Highway is never nice to take. So,
Okay.
ooh, this is a hard choice. Not really hard, but very unwanted choice.
Yeah, give a minion +2/+2 and it could be draw a card.
Give him money +2/+2 again.
Yeah. I think at this stage,
Yeah.
you need to know that it's coming around turn 8. And turn 8, it always just seems to happen that Hunter always
has it in
has
his hand.
call of the win. And with that will be the game. Nogi's going to concede, and Epsilon is now 2-0 up with or 2-1 up with his Hunter. So he's starting to look quite comfortable now, considering.
Hunts are proving to be quite annoying class. Savannah Hamid, which was made to be nerfed and to become a legendary many months ago.
Should actually be 2 there, not 3. Alright, so we got Garrosh now versus Rexar. This is the old-time battle where Control Warrior versus Face Hunter. But in this matchup, from my own personal experience, mid-range Hunter is just really, really good against Warrior.
So good. It's so good.
It is so good against the Warrior. No, it doesn't really matter what it is, unless, of course, you got Fiery Winax in your starting hand.
Oh yeah, definitely. Fiery 1X is one of the big cards you really are looking for, the Mulligan. The cards that... what makes the mid-range headsets for you? What cards like just really wreck the Warrior? I think it's just Savannah Hyman.
It's Savannah Hyman, and what also can cause a couple of problems is the Houndmaster, because he can put things out of range of axes and things, and then you've got to basically waste 2 cards, slams and executes to get rid of them, which is not the most wanted thing as well. So I mean, huge Toad coming down here. I mean, Epsilon is playing really, really nice. He's got a nice curve going forward. He does now have... I was just about to say there might have been a little bit of a misplay if he wanted to play his minion first and then potentially double time onto it.
Yeah.
He wants to really try and save as much health on the Alex Strauser champion. And at least now he's got some board control. Health for Warrior, not too much. I mean, your armor does negate the hero power. So, I mean, in terms of, you know, animal companions, if he was to play it, Misha could potentially give you something. Okay,
Wow. Caster prediction happening again. Please predict that he draws Yogg even though he doesn't even have it.
Okay, fine. Let me predict that he's actually playing Yogg and Load.
Please. There's nothing more interesting in a Yogg and Load.
Okay. So the Twilight Guardian coming down here, he's now really preventing a lot of damage. But, I mean, a Stamping Encoder also doesn't do much here. I think he might just want to save the coin to burn through. You know, potentially using a quick shot here to either clear the Alex Strauser's champion or to actually burn through the Twilight Guardian.
So he's not going to save the coin.
Okay, so he's going to use the coin and, as well as the kill command and everything to actually clear the board, leaving himself with a 4-1 Misha, you know, getting rid of the Twilight Guardian. A lot of resources they use just to clear 2 minions.
Three cards.
Yeah, 3 cards used. I mean, right now, this is where, you know, the Warrior can actually start, you know, start outcontrolling the Hunter. But, again, Savannah Highmane on curve is going to be incredibly good here. Eagle Horn Bow. Just being able to be in top deck here and clearing out the Ravaging Ghoul. I mean, again, right now, sitting quite comfortable. Health pools don't really matter at this point in time. He's running Sir Finley, which is very interesting.
I wonder what hero power he is after.
Azure Drake coming down, pretty much expected. He doesn't have a dragon though for the Blackwing Corruptor.
Quite interested to see what hero. I think it'll be Life Tap or Fire Blast for executes. Life Tap, or he wants to just heal up if he feels that he's taking a bit too much damage from this Hunter.
I think Life Tap could be a little bit dangerous. Yeah. I like the fact that he's actually taken that, because what can happen, Savannah Harman coming down on curve. So Savannah Harman coming down on curve, it means you don't really need to use too many resources. It was a pity I actually didn't pick up a
executes
an
or
executor. I mean, he can slam now for 3. I mean, he can also use Blood to Ica. Maybe not. Maybe he picks up even a drag. Unfortunately, he does pick up a dragon for the Blackwing Corruptor activator. But I mean, Blood to Ica it away, you're still sitting fairly fine. And then you can, even if you want to slam one of the 2/2 hyenas, is also fine. But I mean, yeah, you just really want to clear board. So there we go.
that was a very nice clear. I enjoyed that play.
Very strong play, very good play here by Nog as well. Yeah, King Zelig for Epsilon. Let's just see what the joust happens. 6/6, unfortunate here. The Draconid Crusher, maybe something that he hopefully top decks, able to continue putting a little bit more pressure. But again, Noga's got to realize turn X is coming around. That could easily mean Skill of the Wild. And
Skill of the Wild, call it what he wants, but it's annoying.
it can get a really, really annoying.
I loved how people's predictions for the card were, it's like, that's alright.
Again, just so you know, third time lucky, I've predicted a Dragonid Crusher being drawn again.
Wow.
And I think I actually should find another career going into something like future telling.
you gotta wait till turn 10, man. Yug, it's gotta happen.
Oh yeah, of course. Yog in the Tempo Warrior with the whole 4 spells.
Both of them draw Yug. There we go.
Okay, so Blackwing Corruptor going to be used to clear the beast. I'm just going to go phase, putting some pressure, putting him onto 14. And now, you know, the Call of the Wild really, really strong here. But do you trade?
Wow, this is good option. You just got to think of will the Warrior clear without trading? Because he definitely do not want to be left without a board on that low HP. You want to take forward to that face. I don't think he has any breasts from hand, such as what's the Crush, Mortal
Strike.
Mortal Strike. That's the one.
Mortal Strike. You're not ready to even concerned about Mortal Strike, but I mean here you can now just think about let's just slam the Leok, because I mean if you can pick up. Because pretty much with that, you can clear the board. You'll be able to slam, draw a card. You can then use your Korkron to clear the Misha. Then you can then use your Blood to Eka, get a 2/2 on the board and your hero power to ping away. But doing the much wiser thing that he's doing here is using Blood to Eka. As you can see, Blood to Eka to actually clear the Misha. So he's going to be having a 4/1 as well as a 2 on the board. And like we said, this is a stage where Warrior can actually start running away with this.
Warrior's got the board.
Unleash the Hounds as well as Stampeding Kodo, you know, that's also a pretty strong play here.
They've been trading boards for the past few turns.
Yeah. Now considering that, you know, we've got a Stampeding Kodo as well, there's so much beast synergy on board. Dragonid Crusher, then playing the Fairy Dragon, pinging away the 1/1. I don't know, I think I would have threatened a little bit more lethal and actually just ping his face for one.
Ooh, that is a draw. That is a draw.
That is such a nice draw. Alright,
so that's a Vanaheim, man. Oh,
Deathwing!
So, yeah, also wondering.
This is the turn where he draws Deathwing, right?
Yeah,
and he plays
it would be a very good card to draw. I'm done. I'm sorry. Can someone please hire this guy as like a lotto predictor? Wow.
Alright guys, your lucky numbers for the lotto this weekend
Oh,
are
wow.
also...
Every card. You told me yours was going to be Yug, but...
Okay, so there was the Deathwing being drawn, and Denogi's going to tie the series 2-2. Fantastic little, you know, fight back there. And, you know, all of a sudden this game is looking really, really tight going into this. Hunter, now he's got to face, Epsilon's got to face the Warrior with his Druid, and it's going to be very interesting to see what he actually ends up being, what he actually bringing to this. Alright, give us a chat about their mulligans and their starting hands. What would players be looking for, considering they both know more or less what they're going to be playing?
Well, you know that there's Ravaging Ghouls, so you don't really want to... You want to pretty much mulligan away your... What's the card that summons the 2/1s?
Yeah, the Living Roots.
Yeah, so I really like the fact that he kept the Raven out over there. For the Warrior side, Dragon Warrior is a bit too new to me. I'm still very used to my Temple Warrior style. But you can see he has Alex Strauss as champion there. Very hard for the Druid to deal with on turn 2. So I'm quite happy to see the coin Alex Strauss as champion just push for the 3 damage.
And we've got the Druid bug with the...
yes, that's to happen the whole game now.
I don't feel like changing it, so unfortunately we're going to have to just deal with this, but I mean, at least the sounds are not too deafening for people. You're going to see the Living Roots come down. Kind of understand that. You're applying a little bit more pressure. Question is, do you actually use your Wind Axe and actually try and trade a little bit of this board away? I think at this stage you just really want to fight for board. But I mean, also the Fairy Dragon coming down, you can just continue pushing face. You've got Dragon Synergy in hand already. considering that you do have the Deathwing, that you're not going to be able to play. You're not going to be playing anytime soon.
So what cards do you predict next for the draws this match round?
I don't feel like I want to push my luck just yet.
You gotta wait for the moment. It's always like, you know what he could really use right now?
I mean, right now, both players are basically just going to try fight for board. Druid's going to want to search for some sort of ramp so that he can get, you know, high up in his mana, so he's able to get to his Ancient of Wars and Yogg a lot quicker. The only thing I do hope is that we do see a Yogg being played in this game.
Yeah, I would love. It's so far away, but it's so close. I've waited all of the games up until now. I think it's going to be a good Yogg.
I think everybody needs to be rewarded with a
good
Yogg. Going face with the Winax as well, very interesting, but also very understandable. So is he going to just buff up? Is he going to summon another 3? Yeah, he's going to easily just buff up, trade, and go face, which is quite nice now, especially for Nug, especially if you pick up a 4-drop. Doesn't really matter what it is, but if you can pick up a 4-drop, you know, Twilight Guardian, he's going to be sitting really, really comfortable. Unfortunately, he doesn't have too much that he can play. I think considering in this matchup, the Dragonite Crusher is most likely just going to be a tempo play, 6 mana, 6/6.
Yeah, it's no use waiting.
Yeah. So Nourish here, again, sorry, my co-caster has something in his throat. You know.
I don't want to cough on your mic. That would be terribly for you.
Alright, okay, so the Nourish being played to pick up card draw, making that Emperor Thaurissan a lot better.
What cards does you want to reduce with Emperor Thaurissan? There's normally like a 2-set combo when you run Thaurissan.
Fandral?
Fandral, yeah, there we go.
Fandral could be one, but I mean, Swipe being played here, I mean, the Wild Growth is just going to be putting him on 8 mana next turn, he can play it again, putting him on 2/10, and then he'll be playing Yogg for us, hopefully.
Do it.
Do it. Alright, so Azure Drake going to be picking up a card draw. And right now, Nogue, from this point onwards, has actually got a lot of ways to deal with a lot of things. So, right now, he's sitting quite comfortably. He's got a couple of choices now here as well, as to how he can clear the...
You're gonna see...
He does draw that. Slamming using the Winax seems a lot better. But I mean, Blood to Ica, putting more minion on the board.
Oh, next turn you're going to see the 10-10 or taunt. So not choose one the Ancients of War.
Yeah. 10-10 Ancient of War. Haven't seen this in a while.
But he doesn't think about it. He can see he's on 13 health. If there's an executes, okay, he's not going to go for the 10-10 War, he's going to go for the board clear. I really like this play better. People just jump at the gun of getting the 10-10.
Alright. Okay. So,
ooh.
Grom is now in hand.
Grom is in hand.
What do you think of just playing Rag here? Going face, putting you onto your
yeah,
left?
Rag. I love Rag because either one you want's gone. So it doesn't matter where it is.
If he hits Fandral, he's going to be sitting quite comfortably as well.
If he hits space, he's going to be sitting quite comfortably. He just needs some sort of activator for Grom.
Okay, so there's 3. I think here you need to see the 10-10 taunt. I don't think there's any other way that you can actually get around this too much.
Yeah, you gotta also like fold your board, I guess, so Rag has less chance. Unless there's a way for you to clear. Or do you go for the Yogg play and hope for the best? Come on.
Again, this is where he's probably running Mulch. So before we do that, we need to get an extra 2 spells by using the Wild Growth and then the excess mana.
Okay.
Because that will be an extra 2 spells. He could potentially draw Mulch, meaning that he doesn't even need to do that. Then he can actually go for things like, if he's going to do that, I think the Violet Teacher needs to be played here first. You know, just building up some sort of board so that if you can't actually deal with Rag, there's a less chance of him actually hitting your face. But I mean, he is in, you know, lethal range of just a Fiery War Axe. He's in lethal range of an Alexstrasza Champion, as well as a Blackwing Corruptor. So, it's not too well. He's going to end up just clearing.
Oh,
we're going to see the Yogg.
We're gonna see it, man. We're gonna see it. Tree of Life, what's that?
Okay, here we go, guys. Here
we need a Tree of Life, yeah.
Gang up.
Come predict something. Now's your time to predict something, man.
Hex. Hex on Rag.
That's a close. On
That's a possible. And there's a Conceal. Counterspell.
okay, so you can stop the Grom. But still, Grom has got lethal. Ah, there we go. Game 2 last. Not in your face. Oh,
no.
ooh. Ooh.
That's really close. Quick shot to face. Soulfire.
You do discard a card.
Yeah, you do still discard the card.
Play.
Oh, it's got a counter spell, man.
Oh man, that counter spell though. So
Also,
yeah, you just go. You've won it. You played Grom. You go face with your beast there, your little sheep.
oh yeah,
and you take
man.
the
Yeah, Grum. I forgot. I thought the sheep would have done. You never get attacked with a sheep, man.
Testing for vaporize. Fine. The only other test now is for the ice block, and it doesn't. And there we go. Nog is going to go further on into the Swiss series, and he's 2-0 up, taking the win with his warrior there against the Yogg. At least we got a chance to see Yogg, and it
Oh wow, that's beautiful.
considering it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, you said Hex. You got polymorph. That's as close as you can get, I guess.
Yeah, it's about as close as you're gonna as
It's
you're
not a
gonna
frog.
get.
It's a sheep. But congratulations to Nog. That was some really a good series of games there.
Yeah, there was actually a lot of good games there by him, and you know what? In the end, doing some pretty amazing things there, and you know, taking a 3-2, really, really close game. Can take absolutely nothing away from Epsilon there, playing really, really well. You know, being able to come back from 1-0, going ahead 2, and Nog eventually having to win 2 with his warrior. Played really, really well to get this far. And you know what? I think that it was actually really, really well played there by both players.
Yeah, very well played.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who goes on with the next. Just to give you
I'm
guys
pretty sure we're going to see them on the top 8, even though they face each other pretty early. We'll see each other.
to everybody that is checking in the chat, thank you very much for joining us here. Just to let you guys know what's happening with the other brackets, we're just going to have a quick look and see what's happening. Just give you guys a bit of an update with what's happened. Schooled beat Self-Mode 3-2. Gascoon beat Liu 3-2. Pandemonia beat Failfark 3-0. And we also had Wacko beat Kirkarash 3-0. We've also had Raven beat Caboose 3-0. There's a couple of games that are still going. It's going to be interesting to see. Just to let you guys know, if you're not too sure how the Swiss format works, Swiss, if winners play against winners for the first round. After that, the next round, again, the winners of the winners, and they get matched up like that. What's going to happen is we're going to be getting the top 8, and we're going to be then seeing where the tournament takes us from there. Evolve Koala, thank you very much for allowing me to join me. I know that you're going to be doing some preparation now before your games at 2 o'clock for the summer prelims.
Yeah, thanks for letting me call to you. Sorry for my health. I was just
Yeah, please just don't die on us during your game. We wish you all the best for it. And we hope to see you pull out some amazing things there. And I can tell you now, you've got the backing of South Africa for you, as well as Madara, who seems to be MIA at this point in time.
You must get a quick interview with them.
No interview or anything with him. But thanks very much for joining me. Don't go too far, ladies and gentlemen. Our next game is probably going to be scheduled to start at about just after 1, about 1:15. Then there's still going to be 4 more rounds after that. So a lot of Hearthstone, a lot of RNG, hopefully. So we're going to see you guys
more
a little
Yogg,
bit later.
please. Guys, please play Yogg.
Please play Yogg, according to Evolve Koala. All right. So thanks very much, guys. Don't go too far. We're going to be going to the next games in about half an hour or so from now.
It is me again, never thought you were my friend all along. You would play your part, make me strong. Now again, never thought you were my friend all along. You would play your part, make me strong. Now I follow my heart. See where we are, don't you know what I mean? Through my mind. See where we are, don't you know what I mean? Through my mind. Just another wonderful dancing here.
on the vibe and now we're smoking with roots. We're juice, get loose, get ready for the weekend juice. I'm having words with my cousin for a temporary truth. So what you got?
And so the question that you chose to ask, will it be better where we're going? And though the answer I don't know for a fact, still my heart is saying, oh yeah.
Still just taking it one day at a time. Still don't know what I'm trying to find. Really I don't mind, cause I'll be fine.
It is said that wars are only won upon the anvil of honor.
Others believe victory requires strategy and a mastery of power.
War is deception. A game played best from the shadows.
Only strength and raw power can assure total dominance.
But of course, you could forget all that. And just have fun! Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft.
Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be starting with the third round of the SIS tournament that we have here. The game that is going to be presented to you is Gascoon versus Dib. This is proving to be a very interesting tournament with quite a few top players obviously winning their games as well, and there's a lot of surprises as well. What we're going to be seeing shortly though is the match that we have now, where we've got Gascoon that will be featured at the bottom of your screen with Dib at the top. So you guys know your picks.
It is said that wars are only won upon the anvil of honor.
Oh, fuck. We apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen. Just a little bit of a technical issue, which we have been able to resolve now. We're just going to be jumping straight into the game so that you guys are aware of the picks and bans here. Gascoon has his Shaman banned, and Dib is in the same where his Shaman has been banned. Going to be very interesting to see what these players decide to start up with. Yeah, Gascoon starting with his Warrior, Dib starting with his Druid. We're going to be interesting to see where this game goes. So stay tuned. This is going to prove to be an interesting and exciting game. Alright, as you can see, Gascoon, we're just going to be jumping onto Dib so we're able to see his cards, and there we go. And there's also the amazing new Karazhan map here that we've got. So Dib starting hand, we've got the Raven Idol, you know, the Wild Growth really good for him here, the Power of the Wild, Violet Teacher. He's actually got a really good hand going into this. I mean, going for the Raven Idol, picking out a spell is going to be very good, especially with a Violet Teacher, especially if you can pick up an Innovate. Leading on, Gascoon playing very much a Temple Warrior or something. He's playing the Armor Smith, which is not always seen, but also Gascoon is also a player that has never actually used his own decks. Wild Growth easy for the Druid here on turn 2, so we're going to continue to see exactly what's going to be happening here. Frothing Berserker coming down, and at the moment Gascoon is looking pretty comfortable. Next turn, oh, well, the swap being picked up. If the swap wasn't picked up and actually potentially played here on the Frothing Berserker, we could have seen the Frothing actually get a little bit absurd already with a potential 6 attack pushing into face here.
I wonder.
Alright, so we are going to see the swipe here, which is probably the most optimal play here for Dib. Gaining only 2 armor from it as well, and, you know, if he does pick up a Battle Rage, it's going to be very nice for him. Unfortunately, nothing. Sir Finley, though, will be able to provide a lot of extra utensils here, full gas, especially if he can pick up a... Unfortunately, he doesn't actually pick up the life tap, which is definitely preferred, so he's able to dig, possibly finding up some more answers in order to deal with the Druid, which could potentially start running away from this. And I mean, Dib's next turn, he's already got a really nice Fire Teacher coin, Power of the Wild. And it looks like Gascoon has decided that he needs to actually do a little bit of smoking, taking the steady shot as a power.
Harrison Jones picked up here by Dib. Very interesting pick here. So we can see here, one of the really good plays here for Dim would be, obviously... Oh, he's choosing to use the Raven Auto instead. See what he's able to pick up. Maybe pick up a Innovate? Fortunately, does not pick up an Innovate though. I mean, Starfire, not too bad considering you'll be able to deal 5 damage and draw a card. We'll be able to deal with something that Gascoigne does actually play. Then we've got Moonfire, which he might just actually just use, you know, for the sake of dealing a damage and possibly just getting another 1/1 token. Healing Touch, maybe not used too much, but he does actually take the Moonfire. Quite an interesting pickup here. So I think a way that he can easily deal with this board. Slam is going to come down onto the teacher. See if he can't pick up like a Fiery War Axe. The Bloodhoof Brave picked up. This is very much like an old schoolish tempo warrior. And it's going to be interesting to see how he decides to trade here. He's going to trade, you know, trading the 1/3 into the 1/1, still keeping it alive, trading away the Violet Teacher, and he's just going to go up to 8 armor here, and then use the hero power, optimizing his mana usage, and sitting on 37 health, you know, sitting quite comfortably at the moment. The fact that he's got the Moonfire is also pretty handy, especially with the Violet Teacher, because going Violet Teacher, Moonfire, and getting rid of the extra armor gain, Power of the Wild is going to be really, really nice. A little bit of a BM here by Gascoigne, just possibly taunting. Div and Gas also very good friends. Power of the Wild giving his minions +1/+1. It's going to be very nice here. 4 minions on board, and Div is sitting really, really nicely considering the current state of the board. Gascoigne picking up the Fiery War Axe possibly a little bit late. He would have liked it maybe a little bit earlier, but he is able to at least still play the Bloodhoof Brave as well as the Fiery War Axe, and able to at least do some clearing of the board here. He's decided that the Violet Teacher is just too much of a threat for him there, and he is going to be able to clear it. Kind of puts him in a very nice position considering that the entire board here for Gascoigne would need to be traded in. The Wrath pickup though will allow the, you know, to actually deal with the Bloodhoof Brave without even costing him too much health or costing him too many more resources. You'll be able to deal 5 damage or 4 damage and as well trading one of his 2/2s to clear it. But the Harrison Jones coming down, getting rid of the weapon usage, just powering up his minions a little bit more here. Right now, Dib is sitting in a very comfortable position considering his fluid. And Gascoigne is now going to start having to look for answers, and he's going to need to find them quite soon as well.
I have no time.
Sylvanas, a really, really nice pickup here. Obviously having no time for games, and it's going to be interesting to see now what Dib does, considering that he's picked up a Maya Keeper now. Considering his hand, most optimal play is probably potentially just drawing a few more cards, so gaining some mana crystals. So let's see what he is able to do. He picks up next year Wrath as well as Living Root. So he is playing pretty much the old token druid that we saw a lot in the Siege Story Cup, played by Ties as well as Life Coach. We're going to see him summon the 2 saplings as well. He's just going to end up starting to push some face damage, forcing Gas to actually make the trades. He is at least guaranteed that he can take a 3-2 by using the Ravaging Ghoul. But whether he actually wants to do that or not is another story. Considering the board situation at the moment, it'll probably be his most optimal play. He doesn't really want to get a 1-1. His best option here would probably pick up the 3-2 if he does use the Ravaging Ghoul. He will still then have the Fierce Monkey as well as, you know, a steady shot using all his mana. But at this stage, he's going to be sitting in a little bit worried. There we go. Able to pick up the 3-2 as well as playing the Fierce Monkey, and pretty much everything is out of range of swipe. He can swipe the 3-4, but he's still going to leave a 3-2 and a 3-1 on board. But the fact that Dib has got Azure Drake in hand and everything as well is really, really strong. However, on the other side is that he has seen now a Ravaging Ghoul being played. The question is, does he actually have another one? Does he run Whirlwinds or anything? Because he could just play Annexia as well. see the Wrath come down for 2, picking up some card draw as well. Could be very useful for him. And he does pick up another Maya Keeper. And he's going to deal 4 damage to the Fierce Monkey, clearing pretty much the entire board, leaving only the Ravaging Ghoul there. And Ragnaros is going to come down quite comfortably here. Gonna push face. Hopefully he does clear the... ooh, Rag going face, not able to clear the Azure Drake. So Gas might be a little bit disappointed about that, but at the same time it's not entirely an issue to him, considering that he does still have quite a bit of the board.
I have no time for games.
The land serves me.
Again, Savannah showing that she has no times for games. And with this now on the board, you know, Gas is could be a little bit concerned about where his Rag actually does end up hitting. Should it be something to use the Innovator as well as just push a little bit more damage to face, putting Gas onto 20. He does actually threaten a lot of damage on board. He does have 14 on board already as it is. And Gas is actually sitting in a little bit of an issue. He's going to most likely drop down the Frothing as well as the Corkron. Corkron he's going to go face, hopefully getting the 1 in 5. Oh, he does hit the Sylvanas. What does Sylvanas take? She takes the Rag. The RNG on that is really not fitting here. Well, considering the state of the board now, he does have the swipe. He would be able to trade 19, put down to 16, put down to 12, and could be put down to 11. So Gascoigne could be sitting on really, really low health after this insane board clear, which could come through here. Dib, a very technical player though, he's going to make sure that he makes the most optimal play here, able to maximize his mana usage and everything here. I think at this stage you really just want to, you know, continue floating the board. The only thing you're worried about is a brawl, and Gascoigne is also sitting rather low to actually do anything like that. He does actually swipe the board. Potentially swiping face might have been a little bit better, you know, a little bit more. But I mean, throwing down another Maya Keeper or Fandral even as well. Unfortunately, it's going to leave Gas onto 2, and I don't see a way that Gascoigne can actually come and deal 10 damage off one top deck, unfortunately. He does pick up the Grom, unfortunately not having a way to actually activating him, and he's just going to throw him down. Use his hero power, put him back down to 4, and it does look like Dib is end up going to be taking this game, and Dib not going to want to reveal any more that he does actually have in hand and everything, and just finishes off with a Maya Keeper, and he's taking the lead into this game 1-0. Gas unfortunately losing with his warrior and falling down 1-0 so far into this league. Unfortunately, last hero standing. Games can still change, and it's going to be interesting to see what class he does bring. The fact that Dib is now locked into the token Druid, Gas has got Mage. If it's Freeze Mage, has possibly got a good advantage, and he's also got Priest. Very interesting that a player has decided to bring Priest, so going to be interesting to see. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have a co-caster sitting here with me, Gregory School Blotch, who's decided to finally win his games. Greg, just give me a second that I can give you a little bit of volume here. Otherwise, people are not going to hear you at all. And you are also good to go. Thanks very much for joining me here, man. How are you feeling?
I'm lekker, hey. I've just come off my game, so yeah.
All good and good? Did you take a win in that game?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go, guys. We've actually got a result there as well that we can basically report back onto. And just to give you an update of what is happening, we'll just show you the overlay. Gascoigne, Shaman was banned. He was locked into Warrior, Mage, and Priest. Dib, Shaman was also banned. Hunter, Rogue, and Druid is what he had. He played Druid in the first game, playing a token Druid. Gascoigne playing like the old school Tempo Warrior. Unfortunately going down to some ridiculous RNG, unfortunately. So, yeah, we can see Gascoigne is actually mulligan 3 cards away, going second, and with the Doomsayer, it already gives sign that he is playing Freeze Mage.
Exactly. Let's see how he goes about keeping his composure.
Yeah, alright, so Div, you know, Living Roots turn 1 is always really, really good as Druid. I mean, there's not many other 1-drops that Druid has that they can actually play, unless you're playing some sort of aggro.
Yeah, sure. The whole concept behind Living Roots is basically a turn 1 card, otherwise you're kind of waiting for Fendril to be there, hey?
Yeah, unfortunately it's either turn 1 or Fandral. You don't really want to use it for anything else. It could slow down some aggro, you know, by dealing 2 damage instead. But I mean, Gascoigne is going to be, you know, thinking, is it even worth playing Mirror Images here? It's not really worth playing it there. Reason being is because it's just going to trade away. You're just giving yourself a turn or 2. You maybe want to save that a little later on, maybe with a Doomsayer or something, just to make sure that it does actually proc off.
100%. I mean, the majority of them, like I've seen generally on ladder and stuff, guys that are running Mirror Image in the Freeze Mage, they like to play it more towards like turn 4, 5 and 6, so that they've actually got more control on the board. It just makes the game more steady.
Yeah, it makes the game a lot more steadier for them. I mean, if you're also playing Antonidas, it is another additional spell on turn 10 for another Fireball.
That's true.
So, I mean, here, you know, not much is actually happening. I mean, Div really hoping to get some sort of some sort of wild growth, some sort of ramp. Unfortunately, not actually having it. So, very slow start here for Div, unfortunately. And in terms of this matchup, it could actually backfire on him as well, but depending on how good a Fandral he actually gets.
Yeah, sure. The thing is, when you are playing against the Druid, and you got to understand that it is tempo. So if you already on the back foot here, which he is, in terms of not having board at all, it's generally not in his favour.
Alright, so Fandral coming down, no real other play there available for Dib, so not too much else he can do. I mean, Gascoigne has got an easy way of dealing with it. He doesn't want that Fandral to start doing insane things with like Violet Teachers, Innovates, and Power of the Wilds, getting huge boards. At this stage, though, Div must also realize that he actually is playing Freeze Mage. And Freeze Mage, even with the loss of Mad Scientist, is still a really, really strong deck.
Yeah, it's 100% is. Especially, like, I mean, we also have to take into consideration that Gas hasn't drawn into any of his secrets yet. So, yeah, there's still plenty to play for in this game.
Yeah. Both players, unfortunately, you know, Gascoigne might have enjoyed the fact that he could have actually picked up a ass block at least, so at least he knows he's safe. But I mean, Nourish with Fandral is just insane value.
It's the best value, I reckon, in the game in the meta with regards to Druid.
You gain, you know, 5 mana, gaining 2 additional mana. So effectively, it's only costing you 3 mana, and then drawing an additional 2 cards is ridiculous. I mean, Doomsayer, Frost Nova, pretty much standard here.
Yeah. Let's see what he does. I don't know if you should get rid of it. What did he draw into there?
He just drew into Sonoris, just to show you guys his hand. He's got Wrath, Azure Drake, Violet Teacher, Wild Growth, Emperor, Maya Keeper, Soul of the Forest, as well as Sonarius.
So, like, basically what we can see that he's running is, if I'm correct, this would be the G2 version of Druid.
Yeah.
It's what they were playing at Seat Story Cup. It's probably the most consistent deck because you're not running in the Yog. The problem with Yog is it's random, or 100%, and this just makes the deck better, it's stronger, it's more solid.
Most definitely. I mean, if you have a look at it, in the end, you know, Div doesn't really have a way to actually deal with the Doomsayer. He's got a potential 6 damage to it if he plays the Azure Drake, but then he still needs to hope that he draws into like an additional Living Roots if he does run in to actually clear. So Div possibly just thinking, you know, is it worthwhile ramping up to 10? Maybe just using hero power and going face is also good. Maybe if he wants to apply a little bit of pressure, he can actually play Soul of the Forest.
Yeah.
Which I think is actually which is what he's doing.
Yeah. The cool thing about the Soul of the Forest, it guarantees him just board.
Yeah. He does have 8, however, he doesn't realize that there's just still a Blizzard here by Gascoigne, which does deal with his entire board. But again, Gascoigne, lacking the fact that he hasn't picked up any secrets, he hasn't picked up any sort of cards. He's just been playing with the cards that he's been drawing. I mean, no Arcane Intellects yet, no Acolytes of Pain, and that is a huge setback for Freeze Mage. You really want to be able to draw a lot of cards and everything.
100%. I think that what it's actually going to have to come down to is going to have to play something weird with that Blood Mage so that he can use it for draw. No,
okay,
not the Acolyte.
There we go. We now see the Acolyte now. But now the question is, how much value do you want to give your opponent off Thaurissan? He's going to get at least 2 turns by doing that. The Kona Cold as well as the second Doomsayer here for Gas. You know, looking at this, Gas can still really take this. But the problem is now that Dib is going to be potentially losing, but he does have actually a way to deal with the Doomsayer.
Yes, he does. That's why I was shocked in the previous turn why he didn't play the mirror image, because at least it guaranteed him board clearance the following turn. He must clearly, I mean, if he's not running Archmage, then I don't understand why he misplayed it, but maybe there was a misplay on his behalf.
Potentially, but, you know, what goes through the players' minds is a lot easier to play the game from this side at times as well. I've been on the end of both, on the receiving end of both of these kind of things. So I mean, the Wrath here for 4, Wrathing then for 2, picking up another card, being able to, then to actually clear the board.
Yo.
And, you know, Power of the Wild as well. I mean, looking at this at the moment.
Yo, it's not in his favor at all.
It's really not. I mean, Gascoon does not have really good draws here at all.
Does he coin out into the Blood Mage, you think?
No, I don't think coining out the Blood Mage is just there then, essentially then for card draw. I mean, looking at the hand here, there's 2, 4, 8, 14 and 19 damage on board, 20 with the, you know, with what you have in hand.
He also has Scenarios.
Unfortunately, Scenarios, you know, full board, not able to actually, however, he could trade in, by trading in one of the 2 2s, he should be able to then use Scenarios, give all his minions, his other minions +2/+2, and this is, if I'm not mistaken, lethal. There's 25 damage, and that is going to be lethal. So Gascoon going 2-0 down so far, and Dibs Druid proving to be quite the class to actually beat you at the moment. Grays, what do you take from that game? What do you think actually happened there?
The biggest problem there was no card draw at all on the major side. He used the Blood Mage Thalanos too late. He also definitely, that mirror image should have been dropped with that Doomsayer. But as you said, when you are in that pressure, you don't really think straight. So
yeah. It's not always a case, and some people could actually look at it in the end and be like, maybe it's not the most optimal things to do at that time, but who knows. Gas, very interestingly, bringing Priest to this as well, and I don't know if there's too many people that play Priest, considering that it is in a little bit of a weak state in the meta at the moment.
With regards to Priest, if I'm not mistaken, it is the weakest class. It's the most difficult to play at the moment. It's not really run in many tournaments. People bringing it clearly shows that they've got confidence behind themselves with the class. That's really nice and special to actually watch.
Yeah, and I do know that Gas has played Priest for a very long time, and right now he's sitting pretty comfortable on it.
The overall score you said was 2-2?
No, it's 2-0 at the moment to Dib.
Okay.
So Gascoon, he basically needs to completely flip this around. I mean, he is playing Luthor as well. It's very interesting to see what he's going to actually play. He's also playing Resurrect. I honestly haven't seen Priest play too much on ladder or anything at the moment.
No, ever. Resurrect with this board, it's not really optimal.
Yeah. I mean, you know, game is still a very long thing. So, who knows, see what he's going to do here. Gascoon is just going to actually just push a little bit of damage. It's not going to change too much in the end, but I mean, there is some damage that he is going to be putting into face here in the end. So, Dib is now sitting comfortably-ish. He's been able to ramp up, and he does know that Priest does have a very hard time dealing with 4 attack minions. Really not difficult for Druid to do that, considering the power of the wilds and everything that people do actually run in them as well.
Sure.
So I mean, Violet Teacher, Wrath, Emperor Thaurissan, Ancient of War. He's also got second Violet Teacher as well as Living Roots.
The thing is, even if he does draw into Swap, it's not really in favor here because the Priest does draw, and that doesn't really run in terms of the Druid's favor, especially with the Ramp Druids.
Yeah. You know, the Resurrect I actually don't mind yet, because I mean, it's 2 mana, you're getting another, 2/1 back on the board to draw a card. And I mean, if you look at it in the end, your opponent's just taking an additional 1 damage here. But I mean, coining out Emperor is so good here.
Yeah,
and
100%.
very difficult to actually deal with, considering the current board that Gascoon has up.
Yeah, or he can double Violet Teacher next turn. He's really sorted in that mixed.
Yeah. Dib being able to double Violet Teacher, do other sorts of shenanigans like that. And I mean, if you have a look at Gas, I think he is going to be struggling just a little bit with the way that he clears this board.
He's very far behind now in terms of being Priest player because he's got no actual board control. He's just running card draw.
Oh,
What a pickup.
that's a really nice pickup here. The Shadow Word Death, the double Northshire Cleric. Not as bad as what you would think. You know, you can heal your opponent's minions as well, just as long as you can get some card draw. And 2 cards for 2 mana, and also able to clear the Emperor Tharasin.
Yeah, sure.
Not too bad in the end.
You know, the funny thing about the Northshire Cleric combo, when you actually play both of them in the board, it's not really discussed, but like, if you got them early on the board, it's okay. It only gets really bad like after turn 6, 7 when you actually have both of them on board because your opponent can make you outdraw or vice versa.
I'm ready to learn.
It can cause a few problems. So we're going to see the Wrath or the Living Roots for 2, and he's going to be able to just get rid of it. And you know, Gascoon's starting to sit in a little bit of a tricky place. However, he does have a full board clear available to him, using the Wild Pyromancer, then using the Shadow Word Pain, clearing it and healing up his Wild Pyromancer again, and you know, he's sitting in a really good place then all of a sudden again.
I'm still at like awe as to what type of priest this is because, I mean, I don't know, it's just general control that he's running.
It does look like it's just potentially just general control, but I mean, considering that he's playing like this, it does show that he's got a lot of faith.
Pay attention, class.
Wrath for 3, clearing the board.
I am ready to learn.
He's just building up his board and running, do what all Druids do, which is keep the tempo.
Yeah, Druid eventually they have so much like removal at the moment, and you know they're also able to just buff their minions to, you know, ridiculous amounts as well at times. Question is, do you entomb, considering that you don't know Dib's hand? You don't know that he's potentially got...
The only reason I agree with that entomb play there is because he doesn't really have anything else to play on the board, whereas running Resurrect in that situation doesn't really get him anywhere.
Yeah, considering the fact that he's only had Northshire Clerics as well as a Loot Order that's fine. And we just see the first Ancient of War come down here for Dib. So, I think this is most
what a
likely...
pickup.
Ooh, Shadow Word Death. Again, it comes down to the question. Do you just entomb or Shadow Word Death?
See, I personally would go with the Shadow Word Death because you're just getting clearance on the board, and then after that you can play into your Darkshire and just heal up your hero, and then you've got a body on board. So you're not really taking damage even though you are a priest.
Sorry guys, we're just going to tweak the audio here a little bit. And like now you'll be able to actually hear a lot better now as well. Alright, so we've got Shadow Word Death that's going to come down onto the Ancient of War here. Clearing it, he's going to deal 1 damage also to the little dudes. I don't even know what they're called even anymore. The Violet Apprentices. That's a very interesting name there. Alright, so we've got Gas now. Do you go for the full board clear by actually using the Resurrect? You could pick up a Northshire Cleric, which could prove worthwhile.
Well, with the Northshire Cleric now, how's that for a beautiful pickup? Yeah, that's perfect. It's
Next
exactly
turn, you're going to get some card draw. I think right now you're actually going to be sitting in a very nice and comfortable place from this point. You know, as Priest, you really want to just get a few more cards, but I mean, Dib at this point, I mean, considering you've seen Shadow Word Death, you've seen Entomb.
Yeah, sure.
You've seen those. And Nixia just seems like such a good drop.
It's game changing though, that card, especially in this lineup. I think
Entomb is really
probably
good.
the thing to do.
I would first, before doing Entomb though, is trading in the 1/1s with the Northshire Cleric,
and then
healing it up back up to full health, picking up a card. See if that maybe doesn't change your potential play, because right now your play looks like Entomb the Onyxia. You've got an Ancient of War, you've got an Onyxia now in your deck. I mean, Ancient Blade Master's not going to really change your play too much. And, you know, still trading in at least 2 of the Whelps and Hero Power to actually clear. Swipe on Northshire Cleric doesn't feel that great, so...
I'm surprised if he doesn't play the Nourish first as the leader, because the actual Priest has got more cards in hand, and that's what he's kind of stalling behind in.
Yeah, but considering you've also now, you look at the state of Dib's board, he's got a lot. He's got board control, you know. And I think he definitely wants to negate as much of the damage as possible. So you're going to see the, just the hero power, the shapeshift, and just go face, making sure he clears it. And now he's sitting in a decent and comfortable position, and it's just basically been trading. Gas has board control next turn, Dib has got, and it's just continuing the whole time. So there you go, Darkshire Alchemist. Actually a very strong card.
Yeah, it's true.
The 5 mana 4/5, and you heal a character for 4. I think it is 4 or 5.
Yeah, it is. It's a really underestimated card. I mean, that's probably the biggest dynamic that Priest has kind of come out with us in this the previous meta, which was Whispers of the Old Gods, was the fact that they could play cheap cards and heal up.
Yeah.
And or burn.
Yeah. Well, apparently now with the new expansion, there's going to be a little bit of a burn for people to deal with as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what people decide to do there as well. Maybe it could be the changing for Priest and what they need.
That's a mad top deck.
You got to be so careful though, because you have 12 damage on board, plus with shapeshift that's 13. 6 damage. You're not too sure, because that's another power of the wild that could be used. But I think he's used already both. I mean, that's still a swipe as well as your hero power, because that would deal 6 damage. So, Gas playing the best that he can there. I think you have to lead with Nourish here. Nourish, draw 3 cards, see if you can't find a way to kill.
Yeah,
You're
sure.
searching for lethal.
I still agree with the whole Anexia play there, because even if you did went for the Sylvanas play, there's potential for lethal on the board with Cenarius.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, now you've got Soul of the Forest. Is there any reason to not play Soul of the Forest? Blood Mage Thanos, Innovate, Soul of the Forest. You're going to have a nice strong board. You've already got a strong board, and you're just making it stronger.
I think it's just guaranteeing more of the lethal, because you still got Cenarius behind you, so it doesn't matter how much he even clears, you're still going to have the 2/2s on board, and that's going to kind of guarantee the win.
You're going to need like a double Orkney play. Fortunately not able to actually pick up anything like that. And I think, unfortunately, Gascoigne might actually go down. There's no way that he can actually...
There's no way, nothing he can do.
He'll be able to trade in as much as he can. However, he only needs to deal 6. There's going to be at least, the Azure Drake still there. There's potentially card draw as well. He can heal himself, though, for 12 this turn, which could change it a little bit as well. It's going to put you on to 18, but again, scenarios could change it depending on how many 2/2s you're going to give him.
The thing is, he has to clear that Ancient, because whether he does or not, the Cenarius is still going to be played next turn, and it'd rather just less damage coming your way.
Yeah, you're going to need to you need to reduce the damage as much as you can. Plus, you're going to need to heal yourself up. So,
clear out both of the magic damage also from the Drake. So that's interesting.
Yeah. He's going to use the whelps.
See, I don't favour that. I would have gone.
He's going to hit 8 for face. Kind of understandable, because you're still kind of sort of threatening lethal. But I mean, that's 7, 8, 10 damage on board there already. Plus Cenarius. That's an extra 6. That's 12. That is going to be lethal, and it looks like Dib is most likely going to take this, seeing if he can at least count up to 30 here. And Cenarius does actually come down, and this is going to be Dib taking the series in this 3-0. A little bit of a sweep there by him. And Gas, I feel, maybe just falling a little bit unlucky in the end. But, in the end, Dib taking it 3-0. Really well played by him, as, considering the classes that he brought. What do you take from that at the end of this?
It was very interesting for me to actually see somebody playing Priest and bringing that class to a tournament like this. But the thing is, definitely well played to both players. Very unique classes, very different methods. And learning more about my competitors is also a lot more fun.
Don't even stress. Eventually somebody's going to be commentating about a game of yours, which is going to be very interesting. So congratulations to Dib taking the win 3-0 in this game. Played really well, 3-0 with Druid. Gas, I feel, fell a little bit unlucky in the Freeze Mage. I think his Freeze Mage would have done really well. Rogue most likely against Miracle. which can be very favored for Mage, depending. And then Hunter as well. I feel a little bit of a 50-50 matchup again, depending on who draws better in that one.
Yeah, 100%.
Mage, if Mage has just got the answers to whatever gets played, a little bit difficult for the players, but you know, still in the end. So that's it, guys. Dib taking this win 3-0. Going to be moving on a little bit further. School, thanks very much for sitting here and casting here with me. I know it's your first time and everything, a little bit of a different experience. So, so guys, we're going to be back in roughly about 15 or about, I would say about half an hour or so with the next game. The next game we're going to see who is going to be featured at table 1. Essentially all the people that have actually won all their games up to this stage. If that is not mistaken, that is the 3rd round. We're just going to give you a little bit of an update with regards to what's happening on the brackets. So Dib obviously winning 3-0. Nogue beating Zaymok 3-1. Very interesting. Schooled, hey, look at you, winning 3-0 against Emeki. Self-Murd 3-1 win. Fridge beating Liu 3-2. We've got Pandemonium who beat Banhello 3-1. Other result, Raven beats Epsilon 3-0. Failfuck beat Caboose 3-0. We've also got Kirakash that's beaten Cowboy Eximo 3-2. And we've got Tom that's beaten Beowulf 3-0 as well. The 2 games that are on at the moment is Say Nothing versus Wako, that is 1-1. And Sex Pistol versus Riskoko, 2-1 at the moment to Riskoko, so that game could be finishing. So in the next half an hour, guys, we'll be bringing you the next game, which most likely is going to be between potentially 4 people or 3 people, which is going to be Dib, Schooled, and Nogue, who's going to be featured at that table. It's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen at that game. Schooled, thanks very much for joining me a little bit into here to have a little bit of a cast with me.
Thank you so much for letting me co-cast with you, man.
Anytime, bro. And just good luck for the rest of the tournament and to the rest of the players. We're nearing the halfway mark now. We're going to be eventually seeing who the top 8 are going to be eventually from this point onwards. So, guys, we're going to be back in about a half an hour. Stay tuned. We'll see you guys in a little bit.
Yeah, I'll be fine. Yeah, no longer focused on yesterday, and I don't care. The rest will say whatever they want. What's left to say? What's left to say? 'Cause I'm leaving all the pain today, meaning what I'm trying to say. Believing I can find a way. Hey, and I'm dreaming. No need to show me how the reason. You can't slow me down. Season the moment only now. Yeah, so we gon' be. Sure about what I'll be. Still can't believe everything I see. If I'm gonna stay down, well, it's up to me. It's up to me. Yeah. Living in a world overcome with greed. Not what I want, got everything I need. And I'm working hard till the day I succeed. The day I succeed. 'Cause I'm leaving all the pain today, meaning what I'm trying to say. Believing I can find a way. Hey. And I'm dreaming, no need to show me how the reason. You can't slow me down, season the moment only now. Yeah, so we gon' be. Yeah, the junior always wanna be the senior. I swear that the grass looks greener. Wanna change your demeanor, looking like John Cena. A girl that is fast with an ass like Trina. Do exactly what you need to do, but you can't have your cake and eat it too. And I swear that every second we complain is when the thing we work for is the thing that we obtain. Yeah, and I don't understand why you always wanna change the path. It's not having what you want, it's wanting what you have. I might not pop bottles in a nightclub or blow up the same way as Mike Stud. When life hits me in the face like a right snub, if you relate, it's alright, cuz
I want you to breathe all this in, breathe all this in.
And I gotta stay high all the time. And I gotta stay high all the time. And I gotta stay high all the time to keep you off my mind. And I gotta stay high all the time. And I gotta stay high all the time. And I gotta stay high all the time to keep you off my mind. And I gotta stay high all the time. Creatures lie
your heart. Oh, I need 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 your heart. I need your, I need your heart. I need your, I need your. You think that I need you, but I say that I need your arms around me 'cause I'm all alone. So take me away. Don't need to feel this pain no more. So take me away.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The next game that we're going to be bringing through to you now is Say Nothing versus Emaki. They're going to be the feature table here. Just so everybody's up to speed, Say Nothing's Shaman was banned, so the classes that he has available is Warrior, Rogue, and Hunter. Emaki, her classes that she has is Warrior, Shaman, and Warlock, since her Mage was banned. Both of these players local from the area, so it's going to be very interesting to see how these two players actually pan out. We're going to have Say Nothing at the bottom of the screen as soon as we can just get into the game. Yep. And now we've received a request from Emaki. So Say Nothing is going to be starting with his Warrior versus Emaki, who's going to be starting here with her Warlock. From the look of things, Say Nothing's playing a Control Cthulhu Warrior, and Emaki from her hand looks like she's playing Cthulhu Warlock. It's going to be a very interesting game. Both classes are pretty much a control-based look at, so we're going to see how this is going to pan out. Eventually, I think, going to come down to a stage of who's going to be able to get to the Cthulhu first. Warlock, considering the starting of the hand there, both players require a lot of time just to basically, they're just going to be armoring up or drawing cards just so they can pick up some things. Twilight Eld on turn 3 here for the Warlock is actually very strong. You know, Warrior sometimes doesn't have a way to deal with it immediately, but we're most likely just going to see the most likely a armor up as well as Shield Slam could deal with it. Could also possibly just deal 2 damage to it, get yourself, you know, some Cthulhu value, and then be able to take it from there. Say Nothing doesn't really have too many other options that he could go for. He could slam as then well as Shield Slam, but Slam you might just want to actually use for an Executor Activator at a later stage, considering that you might not have too many of them later, especially if you have the Disciple of Cthulhu so early as well. So we're going to see the Slam. Hopefully, maybe, you know, Fiery War Axe would be pretty good. You know, another Slam being picked up. All Say Nothing is just doing there. It's just rotating through his deck. Just going to pass his turn there, keep everything else. So Emaki, what she has also now picked up there for you guys is Emperor Tharasin, and she's just drawn a Twilight Guardian as well. You know, Beacon of Eva coming down now as well, and a little bit of damage pushed now to face. You know, Shield Slam, you know, not going to be too effective now. Cthulhu already 10. So what that's going to mean for Emaki is that her 10 activator cards are going to be really, really worthwhile from this point onwards. Disciple of Cthulhu clearing out the Elder is going to be very strong, and a Slam as well basically forces that the trade is not going to be so favorable, and he gets to pick up a card draw from it as well. See the Twin Emperors as well. And we do see that Emaki is also playing Reno in the deck, so a Reno Cthulhu is actually not too bad. Mortal Coil being able to pick up an additional card draw. Playing the Twilight Drake as well. Twilight Drake's going to be very strong here. 4/8 can trade quite favorably as well. And Say Nothing doesn't really have an answer to it just yet. Alright, Cthulhu, you know, going down, clearing out the 2/1 armor up here, just maintaining a little bit of armor. Emaki doesn't really have a way to do it unless she's going to use her own Disciple of Cthulhu. and you know, that could actually turn out favorably here. At the moment, she's sitting with 8 cards in hand, so we'll see what happens from this point. Just to show you hand, she's got Demon Wrath and she's also picked up a Shadow Flame. The Cairn on curve here is also very, very good. Nice Death Rattle, very sticky minion, and quite difficult to deal with, especially if you don't really have, you know, a Brawl or whatever in hand, or any sort of weapons that you could actually start trading into it favorably. So, Say Nothing sitting a little bit on the back foot here. Emeki starting to take a little bit of the aggressive role here, and trying to assert a little bit of dominance, keep board control. And considering the state of the board and hand and everything, Emeki has definitely got a little bit of an upper hand here. Say Nothing has got a couple of options. He could actually go the Justicar, start using the tank up quite nicely. Eventually Warrior just gets insane amount of armor, especially from the Shield Maidens. Well, not the Shield Maidens, your Cthulhu. We've also then got Sylvanas that could be played now. So there's a couple of options here for Say Nothing. Unfortunately, not many of them are looking too good at the moment. Sylvanas could be played, but in question is that pretty much trades with the board. Could cause a few problems, but you know, Emeki has still got a lot of threats as well. So Cthulhu's chosen just coming down here and using the hero power just to armor up here. And so Say Nothing sitting on sort of a comfortable board, but at the same time not entirely. Be interesting to see if Emeki does run Doomcaller, because if so, the first Cthulhu could be just worthwhile just to be played and to see what happens from there. Emeki might be thinking about the fact that armor could start becoming a bit of an issue. As soon as armor becomes a bit of an issue, that means shield slams pretty much clear just about anything. And looks like just going to be trading, popping the bubble. You know, Emeki playing that quite cleverly, getting rid of that armor. You do see the Ancient Shield Bearer now, and this is where a warrior starts getting a lot of armor, especially with Bran. But you know, Ancient Shield Bearer as well as Shield Slams are also amazing combos already. Pretty much deal with anything. Twin Emperors could also be played now, could seem a little bit early. So we're going to see 2 armor gained here. Interesting to see why he has done that. He's going to, is he thinking about just shield slamming? Shield slamming just seems a little bit off, considering, you know, it could be used a little bit better at a later stage, because it's seriously hard removal for the armor that you may have. So looks like it's going to shield slam, execute, trade back into the Twilight, you know, the Twilight Drake, as well as drop the Acolyte of Pain. Seems a little bit offish, but could see where that takes him a little bit later on. Emeki now picking up the Acidic Swampoos could be very useful, especially when Gorehowl is played. Remove that insane weapon value as soon as possible. Considering the state of the hand, you know, you're sitting with 8 cards in hand. Tapping is really not a bad option here. And trading away, very clever. We do see now the Cthulhu picked up, 12-12 Cthulhu. Crazed Worship here being put onto the board now. Going to be interesting to see what Say Nothing decides to do here. We've got the Twin Emperor Vel'Koz, which could come down, give some taunts, put a little bit of more pressure on the board, where he doesn't really have too much of where Emeki doesn't have too much of an option to clearing it. You've also then got the Ancient Shield Bearer to gain some armor, but without the Shield Slam it seems a little bit wasted. Justicar just seems like the correct play here. Justicar with tank up, and this is where the warrior can start getting insane amount of armor. Ragnaros could be very good at this stage, but also quite, you know, could count towards Emeki's defeat at a later stage, especially if Sylvanas does get thrown down and it gets played then there on after. By doing that, it could cause a few extra problems, which you don't really want. But like I said, it's going to be interesting to see what Emeki decides to do here. Hand is fooled up. There's a couple of options where the Shadow Flame could be used, but also very early. You'd rather want to save that to try and clear the Twin Emperors. You've also got the Azure Drake that can be played. Trading like that seems very comfortable. Pushing down 3, there's 11 damage that's going to be coming into face now, and we're going to be leaving Say Nothing onto 22 with very little way to deal with the board at the moment. Speaking a little bit too soon, there is the Brawl being picked up here by Say Nothing. Alright, so it's going to be interesting. Shield block first, see what could potentially be picked up. Gorehau is now picked up. We're going to see the brawl. If Ragnaros survives this, it could be a little bit bad here for Say Nothing. Fortunately not, and the Crazed Worshipper, possibly the worst option, does end up surviving this. But still, from this stage, Emeki can still be putting a lot of pressure here on board. Playing Cthulhu here does seem a little bit risky, but at the same time, there's not much else that can be done at this point in time. Azure Drake coming down, M Gang Boss. Question now, do you maybe just play the M Gang Boss? It's also a nice, very sticky minion. Continue pushing face with the Crazed Worshipper. You've already seen a brawl, so thinking about overextending here is also pretty fine. Drawing up into 9 cards. And we just see just 3 damage pushed here into face. We could potentially just see Gorehau being dropped here and trading away the Crazed Worshipper. Gorehau, insane amount of value that you can get out of the weapon. And also with your tank up now, it's really, really just worthwhile. Interesting that he's decided to do that first instead of after. A lot of the times you really just want to maintain as much armor as possible. That way he only keeps 3, where previously if he did it the other way around by attacking first and then armoring up, he would be on 4. A little bit of extraordinary here. Bit of a little BM Acidic Swampoos coming down, getting rid of that Gorehau. Really, really good value from that Acidic Swampoos. Interesting that Say Nothing hasn't picked up any Fiery War Axes or anything as well. Going through his cards, trying to think of potentially what could he actually play. Doesn't have too many options. Emeki going through a hand, Disciple of Cthulhu, Reno, Shadow Flame, Demon Wrath, Cthulhu in hand, Shadow Bolt, Soulfire, Doomsayer, as well as Brand Bronzebeard. Brand's Bronzebeard plus Disciple of Cthulhu is actually really not a bad play. You're going to be getting 4 damage as well as an additional 4 to your Cthulhu. And just doing a little bit of extra damage. You also haven't seen the brawl. So right now you're sitting quite comfortable. Question is that if just Twin Emperors are played, you may just feel worthwhile just to go and play the Cthulhu. Shield Slam being picked up though might potentially change that to going the to the Ancient Shield Bearer, as well as tanking up 14 armor, 14 health basically gathered just from doing that, as well as pretty much clearing whatever you want to clear on the board, which most likely will be the Brand. The Brand could cause a lot of problems here for you. Shooting straight back up to 29 health, and the Brand getting rid of. Cthulhu's Chosen being drawn now, also pretty good minion. It's going to help a lot with trades come at a little bit of a later stage. So Emeki might just be thinking about playing the Cthulhu. Her Cthulhu is currently sitting on 15-15. 15-15, pretty much guaranteed to at least hit 9 to face and most likely clearing the Ancient Shield Bearer. So that would be 9, 11, 14, 16, 20 damage. 5 damage Shadow Bolt. Trade away Cthulhu's Chosen. 17 damage Cthulhu. And they're just going to see another 9 damage being pushed here into face. Dropping Say Nothing's armor quite significantly. We do see the Twisting Nether now, so in case Say Nothing starts getting a little bit out of hand, oh, the second brawl being picked up could potentially be a very good play here. But also you can follow it up with the Cthulhu's Chosen. But I think Cthulhu being dropped down here, 12 damage, potentially maybe doing a little bit more by doing so. And also if it does die, you do have the Doomcaller back to recycle back into the deck, as well as adding the extra +2/+2 card cost to the Cthulhu. Playing the Cthulhu's Chosen first and then going for the brawl, potentially giving you an additional chance to win it. And we're going to see what survives here. Azure Drake surviving, which is really, really good here for Say Nothing. And we're going to just see the Cthulhu going down, 17 damage, as well as then 4 damage going face. And Emeki is going to take the first game in this, and is going to lead this best of 3 last hero standing with her Reno Cthulhu Warlock, taking it 1-0. Very interesting deck that she's decided to bring, and unfortunately it does mean that Say Nothing's warrior is no longer eligible, and we're going to be able to see the next game. Considering his lineup, he's got Rogue as well as Hunter. Rogue could be pretty good for him here. Specifically if it's Miracle Rogue. Miracle Rogue is really good against controls, and you're able to build up quite an attack. Just a big shout out to our sponsors, Internet Solutions here, IS Gaming. Without them, we wouldn't have this amazing venue which you guys have been able to see between the games that we've been having. Without their support, we wouldn't be where we are. So a huge shout out to them, to Blizzard for sponsoring the event, as well as to the admin teams and the players that have been able to come through and actually support the event and everything. So a big shout out to them. Emeki leading 1-0. Say Nothing considering his options leading into this next fixture. Knowing what he's up against, and he does end up picking the Rogue, a little bit more favorable for him. And it does look to be a Death Rattle and Zoth Rogue, which could be quite interesting as well. So looking at the starting hand here, we've got a Mortal Coil, a Shadow Flame, Acidic Swamp Ooze, and a Shadow Bolt here for Emeki. Say Nothing is over. We've got the Tomb Pillager, the Sylvanas, as well as the Backstab. Considering that this matchup is a little bit slower, keeping the Backstab seems a bit interesting. Reason being is because there's not many 2 health minions that are actually going to be played here. So we do see the Shadowcaster as well. Choosing a friendly minion, add a 1-1 copy to your hand. So unless he's playing like in Zoth or Cthulhu as well, doesn't seem to make interest at all. Alright, so we do see the Dagger Mastery here, just going and pushing face. Siphon Soul being picked up now here by Emeki. A little bit of a slow start here, using the Acidic Swamp Ooze, maybe not so worth considering that you might want to wait for Deadly Poison or potentially a different weapon. Just tapping, most likely it's the way that most control warlocks start. You just tap for a few turns and see what happens there on out. Acidic Swamp Ooze coming down, not a bad play considering that does at least put something on the board, a little bit of a tempo play. It does cause a few problems here for Say Nothing, but at the same time not really. He's able to backstab it away with the Violet Teacher out, being able to pick up at least another 1-1 here. Cthulhu being drawn now here by Emeki. Cthulhu's Chosen coming down, it does keep the board fairly well. Will trade maybe not as favorably as Emeki would like, but just at least ticking over that Cthulhu stats from there on out. Say Nothing has picked up the Undercity Huskter, so chances are might just see that being dropped here.
You want to buy a funnel cake?
It could very well still be like any sort of like tempo. Playing the Edwin here for just additional tempo could be worthwhile. It's only going to be a 4-4, but it's at least not something bigger like a 6-6, 8-8, or something even just even bigger than that. So using the weapon, taking 4 to the face, trading away, and going for face for 1, fairly strong here. Deciding to actually go face completely, forcing Emeki to do the trades, might come back to bite. She does have the Mortal Coil as well. Being able to clear the Violet Teacher is quite crucial, because those 1-1s can cause a few problems. Gonna see the Shadow Flame instead, and then a Mortal Coil. So the Imp Gang Boss picked up here by Say Nothing. Actually not a bad pickup here for the Rogue. Just a little bit of taunting between the two players. So we've got Say Nothing that is sitting in a very interesting position. Imp Gang Boss as well as SR7, not too bad. Able to just put 2 more minions on the board And, you know, Say Nothing is actually starting to look like he's going to be taking control of this game from this point on, especially if Amiki's not able to deal with everything. Shadow Bolt on the Imp Gang boss pretty much clears it really, really nicely. We could just see the Disciple of Cthulhu being thrown down here. Jeweled Scarab finding out for a 3-mana Shadow Bolt is actually really not a bad card, because you still got to consider the fact that Tomb Pillagers will most likely be running this deck. That's 4 health, pretty much clear. Anything 4 health and under is going to be able to clear. That includes your Gadget Sands, it also includes your Azure Drakes. So Shadow Bolt could possibly be the only real pick here. You don't really want the Darkshire Councilman. You're not playing an aggro deck where you're going to be flooding the board as much. And then the Squirming Tentacle, the 3-mana 2/4 Taunt, also not really worthwhile here. Emiki really considering what to take here. She does end up taking the Shadow Bolt though. More friendly banter between the two players here. Darkeye and Skulker being picked up. Very good card against Zoo. Another Azure Drake being picked up from the draw. Again, easy clear. Just pushing more face damage here. Putting Emiki down to 16. It's going to be interesting to see what Emiki is able to do to start bringing this one a little bit back, because this rogue has gained a lot of tempo. Twin Emperors being drawn. Consider only 8/8. That is the biggest problem here. Refreshment Vendor coming down, and at least that now puts a decent body on the board. Trades fairly favorably here for him, but Darkeye and Skulker could potentially have been chosen, except Shadowcaster being played down onto the SI7. SI7 can then just be thrown down again, dealing additional 2 damage, able to trade again. Unfortunately, only being a 1/1 for the 1 mana. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. Chances are that seems like the only real play. You don't really want to sap the Refreshment Vendor because it's just more healing, and could just become a bit of a problem to deal with at a later stage. So Edwin coming down, I think, is fine. As you know, it's another 4/4 body, and Say Nothing deciding that it's time to actually smork down, dealing a couple of damage, putting Emiki down to 15, half health. No Reno in the hand yet. There is a Reno, sorry, my apologies. There's also Siphon Sold, so there are ways to deal with the minions that are on board here. Gentlemen, I seem to have chosen the wrong mic here for this. So we do see the Hellfire and the Disciple of Cthulhu and a bit of a board clear here. So interesting to see how the rest of this is going to pan out. Zoro being taken here now with a Fire Bloom Toxin being picked up. Really nice combo activator, especially for the Miracle Rogue. Easy weapon trade here, and then taking it from there. Azure Drake coming down. It does make the backstab that's just been picked up really worthwhile, as well as the Fire Bloom Toxin, extra 3 damage. So Say Nothing picking up a little bit of damage here. I mean, there's 5 already in hand, considering so low, except for Reno making Emiki a little bit rich again, putting her back onto 30 health. Say Nothing, start from the beginning, buddy. Reno going to come down. If you're looking for a decent play here, I think maybe Backstab. Backstab trading with Zoro is actually fairly decent. By doing so, you're just then able to trade them. You're able to still then armor or use your weapon.
This guy's toast.
Really interesting line of play here. deciding to do that. He's actually lost a little bit of damage. He would have been able to at least do 2 extra to face, but doing that, and I think he actually realizes it now as well, because that 1 damage could come back a little later. Putting him back onto, putting Emeki back onto 15. You're going to see the Siphon Soul here, completely just sucking up 18 health now again. No more Ragnaros to continuously deal horrible amounts of damage. And the Beacon of Evil, as well as the Twilight Elder being thrown down here, so just adding more to that Cthulhu buff. I mean, from this point as well, that Emeki can start putting a lot of pressure on the board. Oh, another Shadowcaster being picked up. This could cause a few problems. It'll be interesting to see what Say Nothing decides to do here. He does have the Dark Iron Skulker, where he'll be able to at least do some damage, be able to clear the board fairly nicely as well by doing such. Really good card, the Dark Iron Skulker. I feel that trading here is actually very, very decent, because by trading, or even the Shadowcaster back onto the Zarl, if you're really wanting some toxins, whether it's going to be draw toxins or anything, Shadowcaster are rather going to be used on the Dark Iron Skulker, potentially maybe using it for further board clear at another stage. King's Blood Toxin is just the 1-mana draw card. Twin Emperor Volkar is going to be thrown down here most likely. Emeki really just wants to prevent any more damage coming into face.
The feast of souls begins now.
13 damage Cthulhu. Currently, could turn into a lot more. Oh man, the Dark Iron Skulker value here is going to be so amazing. Doing that is going to give You Say Nothing much better trades. Rather going to sap away the one Emperor. I'm not going to be able to trigger the second. I'm going to see Blood Mage being thrown down here. King's Blood Toxin just going to be drawing a card. Preparation being picked up here. Dark Iron Skulker being thrown down now. Going to be able to just trade with another Dark Iron Skulker and pushing again 8 damage to face. Fortunately not able to end it just yet. Could push another additional 1 damage by using the hero power. I don't think overextending the board is too wise at this stage, because you still haven't seen anything really, really big. Just going face, putting down to 3. Crazed Worshipper being picked up, but I think this might just be a little bit too late here for Emeki. Crazed Worshipper is going to give Emeki a little bit of time, but it's still not going to be that great. Going to be interesting to see what Emeki does. Don't feel that in any way Emeki does realize this as well, and is going to take the concede. And it's going to tie up the Say Nothing is going to tie up the series 1-1. Okay, so Emeki has now seen the Rogue of Say Nothing, which is kind of tied into. So Emeki now has a choice of either her Shaman or her Warrior. If her Shaman is an aggro Warrior, if a Shaman's an aggro Shaman, it could actually cause a few problems then for the Rogue, especially if there's not many, especially if there's not many more, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, there's just something that has just popped up. There's a few dropped frames, just sorting those out quickly. Alright, so the Warrior being taken here by Emeki first instead of the Rogue Say Nothing. So the Warrior also seems to be Cthulhu Warrior. The fact that there's the Disciple of Cthulhu, and it's just playing for the 2 damage, which doesn't seem really worthwhile because the fact that it only has the 1 health. So if you're really just throwing away the Cthulhu value, really not the great card. Say Nothing got Rag, Sap, Backstab, as well as Eviscerate in starting hand. This could turn out quite interesting then for Say Nothing. I think cards that you would really want to keep in this matchup, most likely just Eviscerate. Throw away the rest. You really want to look for your higher drops. You really want to look for your Azure Drakes, your Tomb Pillagers that you're going to be that you really want. While we just wait for the players to do their mulligan, just give you guys an update of what's actually happening with the other games at the moment. Nogue has beaten Schooled 3-1. Guess has beaten Self-Mode 3-0. Sex Pistol has beaten Raven 3-1. Epsilon has beaten Tom 3-1. Wacko has beaten Failfox 3-0. Cheese has beaten Kokarash 0-3. Liu has won their game 3-0. And there's a few other games that are still currently running at this point. The turn to Armor Smith, pretty much the only thing the warrior can do. No weapons picked up. It is a Cthulhu warrior, so perfectly fine by doing such. And Say Nothing deciding to just go straight to, straight down to Pound Town, getting a little bit of damage in face. Not too much though, but it does at least now start activating the fact that Emeki does have Battle Rage, so there's at least a card that's going to be going through to her hand. Say Nothing wanting to use Backstab as well, and then dropping the SI7, getting a minion on board, giving a little bit of armor, but armor at this stage not too important, and he's just going to drop down Emeki's armor value to 3. Emeki was thinking about just going and dropping down the Battle Rage, which was very interesting. Not many other players, considering that the Disciple of Cthulhu might be worthwhile, because you'd at least be forcing the you'd be forcing a favorable trade in for you by throwing it down onto the SI7. But you could just Battle Rage, hopefully pick up maybe a weapon. Unfortunately, only an Armor Smith's picked up. This could also start getting a little bit more armor, and if it isn't dealt with, it could mean that more potential Battle Rages, if drawn later, could be getting a little bit more value from such. Zoral Poison Miner being drawn here though. Really nice draw. Give a minion plus to your attack. The Brainthorn Toxin. Very nice here. Brainthorn Toxin is going to be thrown down onto the SI7 and looks like being pushing face. So Nothing's actually got the right mindset. He needs to basically rush down this Cthulhu warrior, not allowing any sort of Cthulhu value cards just to be played to either clear or anything, just so that it can slow down the armor gain and potential death. Not really on the way, just the potential death. Just getting a little bit of armor. The Ravaging Ghoul top deck. Another poison being picked up, and it is the Blood Thistle Toxin, which is actually not a bad card, but you're really going to need some sort of additional firepower to really get the full activation from such. Say Nothing got the Dark Iron Skulker, doesn't really have a play that you would like to do this turn. You definitely want to use that Blood Thistle Toxin for something else. The Fan of Knives is not bad. Just picking up some more card draw. Eviscerate being used though could cost a little bit of damage at a later stage, but could also be quite, looking back at the game, could actually be a little bit of a changing point from such. Crazed Worshipper just going to be dropped down here. And Say Nothing is now sitting in a little bit of a sticky situation. Alright, so we've got the Violet Teeter that's in hand. Doesn't really have anything to do with it. Other than being fast here, would just end up being traded. So considering Say Nothing's plays here, he's actually sitting with a little bit of a sticky situation. He doesn't really want to use the Dark Iron Skulker to drop to 4, but unfortunately he would prefer to potentially have an additional mana. He'll be able to get rid of it at least immediately. Violet Teacher coming down, as well as the Eviscerate then onto the player, or onto the Crazy Worshipper, giving at least just one additional So there's a 7/7 Cthulhu now. Might just see Gorhau come down here. Gorhau's going to add a lot of value. Emeki is sitting in a little bit of a situation where you're stuck between playing the Gorhau, which could be very worthwhile. We'll be able to at least start dealing with the Violet Teacher. Potentially maybe going for a board clear here by Emeki. Going to trade in the Worshipper. Shield block first, which is really, or eventually later on it's a little bit interesting. Generally you would want to draw what cards you can first. Dark and Skullcurve pretty much deals with this board entirely, but I mean you could also just use Dagger Mastery, clearing the 2/1, playing in the Earthen Ring, healing yourself back up to full health, and at this stage you're going to be sitting quite comfortable as well. Could potentially think about using the Blood Thistle Toxin, bringing back the Earthen Ring Farseer back to hand. It's going to cost 2 less, it's only going to cost 1. It's at least going to add a little bit of a tempo play, a possible combo activator with the 1 mana. Decides rather to play nothing though. Very interesting. Emeki, considering what to play, is on 8 mana. Twin Emperor is going to be coming down, and both Emperors are going to be summoned here. And this could cause a few problems. Say Nothing doesn't have a way to deal with this board. He doesn't actually have a sap to potentially get rid of one of the minions for meanwhile. But also at the same time, doesn't really have much else that can be used here. Shadowcast unfortunately costing a little bit too much at this point.
You want to buy a funnel cake?
The Shadowcaster used on the Husker, actually very nice, flooding the board a little bit, and he's going to give Say Nothing 2 cards from Emeki's deck, which is going to be very worthwhile as well. Emeki from this point just looks like she's going to end up stabilizing. A lot of armor. Say Nothing does have Yogg in hand, and we saw Yogg a little earlier, and Yogg was pretty much a savior. So we really want to hope for another Yogg that's going to be played. King's Defender, interesting. Interesting choice of cards here. Unfortunately, Say Nothing doesn't really have taunts to actually activate it, and Emeki just pushing a little bit of additional damage to face. No point in really trading. Potentially the only reason you would want to trade is to disallow any sort of further trade potentials or anything like spell damage, eviscerates, etc. to clear the rest of the board. We do see a shield block though being picked up from the other Husker, which is going to allow some more card draw. Just trying to shuffle through the deck a little bit, trying to find a few more answers to the board here of Emeki. Next turn though, we do have Gorhau that could come down. If Cthulhu's also being picked up, Cthulhu might also just show face for everybody here. Ooh. Emeki does have available, you know, an option just to pick up another card draw, which he's going to end up using. Shield Slam being picked up now as well. I see pretty much no problem in actually just using Shield Slam. Going face then for an additional 6. And even just playing the Ancient Shield Bearer. Ancient Shield Bearer is going to just give additional armor. Doesn't really matter how you play the two. 6/6 as well, very big body, and Emeki is starting to look quite comfortable in the position that she's in. Say Nothing must consider a Yogg here. No Yogg? Damn. Pity. See the Blood Thistle Tossing used again. Going to cost 1. Going goes to heal up for 6 essentially this turn. And Anastasia husked her, and the Earthen Ring. He's going to take 4 to the face though. That seems a little bit risky. Ooh, the Cthulhu being picked up now. Cthulhu being 12, that's 10, 12, 13 damage. It just needs to be 7. That will actually end up being game here by playing the Cthulhu and just going face. Because Bolster being picked up as well, very interesting. That's still 11. I think that lethal might have just been missed by doing this. Nope, nope. Apparently I just can't count to 30 as well, which is why I'm bad at Hearthstone. Emmy going to take the game here and going to go ahead in the series 2-1 and going to have to place the final, going to face against Say Nothing's final deck, which does happen to be Hunter. Going to be interesting to see what is chosen here, or what kind of Hunter is brought. Maybe Jargon Load, we will only see in a little bit. Just going to wait a little bit for the potential final game. Emiki does still have her Shaman, which is available. So Say Nothing only got his Hunter left. We're just waiting for the players to actually start their game here. Oh yay, it's a Jargon Load Hunter here, but Say Nothing is brought versus Cthulhu Warrior. This is going to be a very interesting match. Saying Mulligans, Say Nothing might maybe want to just keep the Lock and Load. Animal Companion maybe not so worthwhile. Seems like a very good hand to keep. Decides to throw everything away. Interesting to see what the rest of his deck list is. So he's got the Hunter's Mark, Quick Shot, as well as the Deadly Shot. Emiki has the Brawl, Shield, Slam, as well as the Fiery War Axe. Say Nothing does have the tracking. Is it worthwhile actually using the tracking here? We don't know. Tracking may just be, it's just additional spells. As well as we're going to find, there's the Yogg, but very difficult choice. Decides to take the Deadly Shot instead. Interesting to see what the rest of his deck is. Just a bit of a steady shot here by Say Nothing. Doesn't take the Yogg though. That seems like a little bit different. I don't know, maybe it's just my love for Yogg that I would have ended up taking it. But we'll see what Say Nothing actually responds. Just some steady shots being used here. Just picking away at the health total here of Emiki. Armor up. King's Elec. King's Elec you pretty much just throw down. Hopefully you win the joust. Unfortunately you're losing it to Ancient Shellberry. More friendly banter between the two. In Steady Shot just being used. Cthulhu's chosen a really nice pickup here. Other Cthulhu's chosen just going to be used. Clear the board and just passing on the turn. Emiki really doing well to control the board here. On the hunt being picked up, unfortunately no Jargon Lock and Load at the moment to potentially pick up any more cards. So on the hunt just going to be used. The 1-1 Mastiff coming down, as well as just then a Steady Shot. Again, there's another Cthulhu's chosen. A Disciple of Cthulhu, my apologies. That is able to then clear the board and can just then armor up. And again, keeping the board clear, getting that Cthulhu counter rolling. So things are going to be interesting to see what happens from here. Another tracking here for Say Nothing. I wonder if he's maybe not just running Yogg. It doesn't make sense that he would not take the Yogg though. Well, there we see the lock and load. We've also got the snipe as well as the explosive trap. Snipe taken now as well. Eagle horn bow. And he's just going to trade away the Disciple of Cthulhu. Unfortunately, that snipe is going to actually trigger the additional weapon buff here. Battle Rage is going to be used here, just picking up a few more, just picking up an additional card at least. Just another armor up here. Emeki, this game a little bit slower than the rest, but pretty much players just doing the same thing. Emeki doesn't really have the other minions that you would like to have played, but we do actually see the Ancient Shellbearer being picked up, and it is going to be thrown down. 10 armor, snipe though, it is going to trigger the additional bonus, and you know, Say Nothing does actually have a way to clear the board down. He's also got Call of the Wild, very, very strong card here. Gonna go face. Going to continue pushing face. That's actually very interesting. Oh, Gorehowl being picked up. Gorehowl's going to at least allow for the board to be cleared fairly well. Not entirely as well as Emeki would like, but it is board clear nevertheless. Able to clear the Shield Slam. Running the 6-2. Slamming of Leok, picking up an additional card draw, also does then end up damaging it. Acolyte of Pain, maybe not wanting to be used just yet. Could potentially end up getting overdrawn, especially considering the hand size. Another slam being used, perfectly fine with that. Keeping the board clear and still just pushing an additional 6 damage. Say Nothing, maybe not willing to take another 6 damage to face, but it does at least allow that the weapon charge will be able to clear the Acolyte of Pain. Quick shot being used, as well as a deadly shot. Very interesting line of play there. Keeping the board clear and just pushing an additional 2 damage to face. I'm not too sure what Say Nothing's win condition from this point will be, considering that he didn't take the lock and load. He hasn't drawn the second one yet either. So let's see exactly what happens from this point on. The Hunter's Mark could be very worthwhile here. Be able to at least clear. Gonna be able to throw down the additional Stranglethorn or Eaglehorn bow, as well as just in a steady shot to face. Twilight Elder going to be thrown down here, and I think the reason attacking face is just to activate, no, not even playing the Gorehowl. Interesting. Cthulhu counter just going to increase here, and an explosive trap being picked up, which is actually very nice. Explosive trap, Hunter's Mark going to be thrown down. Are we going to see the Unleash the Hounds as well? No Unleash the Hounds yet. Gonna push face here with the quick shot as well. So this is already giving Emeki an indication that that must be explosive trap. So we're going to see the Twilight Elder go face. It is going to then trigger the explosive trap. Bit of a mistake, says Say Nothing, but not 100% sure of that just yet. Armor Smith going to be thrown down. Armor up. Maybe coining out the Gorehowl is not a bad option here as well. Decides not to though. Ooh, Bear Trap there's going to be coming down now as well. Steady shot going face. And Say Nothing might actually be playing this really, really well. Bringing the health down. Oh, unfortunately that Ancient Shellbearer is going to change things fairly quickly as well. So Ancient Shield Bearer going to come down, going to put Emeki back onto 25. On the hunt going to be used as well as then potentially just traded away. I don't know too much about the 1 and 2 to get rid of the Shield Bearer. Deadly Shot, then just making sure that the Shield Bearer dies, and then as well as just using the Steady Shot to just put more damage on the face there. Considering this state, then I see no problem in just playing Doomcall as a tempo play. You're not too worried too much. You might be worried about Snipe. Not even worried about Snipe, just playing the Acolyte of Pain, hoping to maybe get some more card drop. Power Shot being picked up though. Emeki, if she really wants to take this game, a Justicar now would be really, really nice. By using the Justicar, she'll be able to at least then start armoring up fairly quickly as well. The trade, you're just picking up another card draw. You're going to see the Fiery War Axe as well, just playing down. And most likely just then armoring up as well. Going to go face, triggering the Bear Trap. It's not bad considering. There's no real way that Say Nothing can deal with it. Power Shot kind of deals with the board. Emeki, oh, a second Bear Trap. It's actually really worthwhile. There's 3/3 minions are going to cause a bit of an issue a little later on. You're going to see Unleash the Hounds and most likely a Power Shot as well. Power Shot will at least allow for board to be dealt with. Do see a little bit of extra armor gained. Putting back down to 21. Twilight Elder being picked up now, which is also very nice. There is also the shield block. So there's just, again, additional armor for you for Emeki. So Emeki, if she just plays this right, she'll be able to win fairly convincingly from this point onwards. Oh, Twin Emperors. It's pretty much going to seal it in the bag here, though. There's no way that 23 damage is going to be dealt here for Emeki. And Twin Emperors are going to come down. Just an easy trade here of the Hounds. Animal Companion, and from this point, just any card that's been picked up is just going to end up being played.
Well played.
Saying well played, maybe just a little bit too early. Considering that there is a Bear Trap down. Maybe not.
A mistake.
Just denying bit of fake BM maybe. But unfortunately, I don't think there's really anything that Say Nothing can do from this point onwards. Call of the Wild does buy a little bit of time though. He's able to clear at least one of the other Emperors, but at this stage it's just essentially just buying time. May as well trade it away, giving yourself at least a favorable trade onto Term Emperor Vel'Koz. And from this stage, again, Say Nothing is just fighting back what seems to be the inevitable. You can trade like that as well, either way. Bran being picked up now as well. Crow's Worshipper going to be dropped down, armor up, or even Twilight Elder. Either way, Lethal is being threatened here by doing this. And unfortunately, I think throwing the Yogg away off the turn 1 track, he may come back to bite Say Nothing. And that is going to be it. Emeki will be taking this game. Let's see if they decide to not continue to BM each other. Just buffing up the Cthulhu a little bit more. Is there going to be a Cthulhu top deck? Unfortunately not, but there is just going to be the straight damage to face here. So Emeki is going to take this 3-1 Cthulhu Warrior turning out to be pretty powerful here, and is going to claim another win. Giving you guys a bit of results here as to what has happened. Emiki now with that win, it puts her on to played. Apparently I can't count either. 4, 1, 3 and lost 1. So very good results here for her as well. It's going to be interesting to see how Say Nothing does, considering this is another loss to him. It's going to be pushing him a little bit out of range. He's going to really need to win the rest of his games to be able to potentially come through and claim a top 8 position here. Alright guys, we're just going to be waiting another about 15-20 minutes before the next game. So hang around, enjoy the music that's going to be played, and we'll see you guys in a little bit.
It is me again, never thought you were my friend all along. You would play your part, make me strong. Now I follow my heart, see where we are. Don't you know what I mean? Don't you know what I mean? Through my mind, see where we are. Don't you know what I mean? Now I follow my heart. It was me again, never thought you were my friend all along. You would play your part, make me strong. Now I follow my heart, see where we are. Don't you know what I mean? Through my mind, see where we are. Don't you know what I mean? Through my